All right, we're starting this graveyard shift at 1:50 a.m. after we were done recording. We've been chit-chatting for a bit, me and Temp. So right now it's just Temp and I, no Justin. So poor Django looks like he went to go to sleep. So it's just gonna be Temp for now, unless he jumps on. But we got some things to discuss. We've been kind of talking about some Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat and just why certain people gravitate towards Mortal Kombat because there's just so much about Mortal Kombat that, like, there's so many different, like, types of fans. I mean, Mortal Kombat, and speaking of which, I want to throw this out there. It's quite random. Not random, but it's relating to that same subject, but obviously nobody's heard about what we've been talking about, so it'll be weird for them. But speaking of, like, fans of different things, whether you're a fan of story, fan of characters, fan of competitive play, or just fans of fatalities, or whatever the reason is you play Mortal Kombat, for the gore or whatever. That's what fascinates me about Halo, is because there you have your, like, story fanatics that play Halo just for the story. They don't even touch multiplayer. Then on the opposite side, you have people that play the multiplayer and don't even really care that much about story, and they just play Halo because it's really fun online. And then you have people. Then when you get online, you have competitive community. So you have your MLG, like your pro gamers or whatever you want to call it, community amongst Halo fans that take it seriously, play for money, etc. And then you have people that play, like, custom games with each other. You have whole leagues based around one custom variant called Griffball, which was a custom game made up by I think it was Rooster Teeth maybe, but it was a group of people that came up with the idea of Griffball, and then now there's whole leagues based on it, like competitive leagues, not for, like, money, but just fan created, like, a whole community based on Griffball itself. And then you have other custom based people. Then you have a whole community based on forging, which is making your own maps in the game using their forge mode, obviously. So you have a whole community based on that. So that's what fascinates me about Halo, is the community's so split up in different, like, little things. Mortal Kombat has obviously that too, just to a slightly lesser degree because there's less to split up. But it's just so fascinating to me, like, how a game like that. That's when you know you have a good game, is when you have so many different things it offers, that you have so many your own community split up into separate communities because they like different things about the game and play it each time for different things. So
There's definitely three solid divisions with Mortal Kombat. There's the very obvious gameplay types like me, who play competitively, who like to get in depth with the strategy and the mix-ups and all that
right,
stuff. Then you have the story guys, who recognize that Mortal Kombat does have a very deep lore. It's grown into something really big over the years, even if it kind of took a strange turn with Mortal Kombat 9. You have those guys.
right,
Then you have the people like TMK who celebrate Mortal Kombat because of what it represents thematically in culture and aesthetics. Like TMK was there from the beginning,
right,
so he loves the arcade days. He loves, like, the just kind of like what Mortal Kombat, just the atmosphere and just the whole kind of just the everything. I guess just all the themes and all the aesthetics, the
right.
visuals, and just it's just a really awesome product. At least that's my theory. But and those are the people who I think are the majority, to be honest with you. I think people who like Mortal Kombat feel like Mortal Kombat's like its own kind of culture almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just really interesting to think about it. Like, we were talking about why we each individually play between Temp and I, and then we were just kind of thinking about, as the group of Netherkast, why we all play, and it's just interesting to think all the different, like, even just, like, taking a forum board and asking everyone to, like, fill out a poll with, like, maybe 5 options and then maybe an other, and then explain. I would just love to see why people, gravitate to the game. Because, I mean, why are you a passionate fan of Mortal Kombat? Because, like you said, there's definite 3 groups there, but it's just interesting to see why. Because there's people that I say my big reason why I play is because I love the characters. I mean, I've said several times on the Nethercast, or just on the Graveyard, or in general, I could make, like, a top 30 favorite characters, because that's how much I love the characters. Is there's only very few characters I dislike in this franchise. I find ways to like every character and get really passionate about those characters and just enjoy seeing them, evolve from game to game to game. That's why Kano being an MKX, even though it may not be necessary, I always love to see these characters because I grew up with them and I love to see them in their new iteration this time. The characters always change from game to game. Their models are always different. Their outfits are different. Their gameplay's different. They always bring something new to the table. That's why anybody that says, well, why this character was in MK9, why is he in this game? But it's not the same character. They're not copying, pasting anything from the previous game. So even though, yes, technically it's the same character, it's not the same character from an in-game sense. Yes, they're the same character as in Kano's always Kano, but just because you played him in MK9 and didn't like him doesn't mean you necessarily won't like him in MKX. I mean, obviously, you have your taste, but I mean, there's certain characters, like with you, Temp, Melina is wowing you in this game, whereas, previously you may not have cared much for her. And then you playing her, you might actually find, after, maybe maining her as maybe your second or third main, you might actually grow an affinity for this character beyond just a gameplay sense, because, like you said, when you like to, I forget the term, but you like to...
Ownership is usually what I say.
Okay,
yeah.
Ownership of the character. So maybe if you, after spending 20 hours playing this damn character and getting, the ins and outs of everything about her gameplay, maybe you start to actually defend her more. I don't know. These are the things that fascinate me about Mortal Kombat and these characters. And that's why I love Mortal Kombat personally, is the characters. And it's not just the characters that we know. It's just, I also love Mortal Kombat because it's of the franchise. I love the history of it. I love the nostalgia of it. And the storyline is also a big thing. And the gameplay. So, I mean, I love it for all the reasons. There's not... The character is the main reason. But I'm not one that just, says, oh, I don't care about the story. I don't care about, the gameplay aspects of it. I love everything about Mortal Kombat. And that's why I've stuck with it for so damn long. But... just in terms of characters, that's what fascinates me, because the idea of the character loyalty that we see in the passionate character, sometimes it annoys the shit out of me when people are overly passionate about certain characters to the point where they shit on other people or act incredibly ignorant or childish based on their fandom, and that's why I've made passing jokes about certain characters and their fans, just a small portion of their fans, not everybody. But that's why I make those jokes, is because some people take it way too damn seriously. But at the same time, it's just fascinating that a character like that can have an effect on somebody. A fictional character, mind you, in a video game can make somebody act that crazy. It's just incredible to me.
Well, that's something unique to Mortal Kombat, because in other fighting games, when someone's main character comes back, they're like, sweet, my main character is back. Or if their main character doesn't come back, they're like, oh, fucking Anna didn't make it back into Tekken. That sucks. She's my favorite character. I hope she's DLC. Mortal Kombat fans are not like that. Mortal Kombat fans, there seems to be this common mentality where if I like this character a lot, I have stock, and I have fucking imaginary stock invested in this character. I hate to pick on the Katana fans, but ownership's a good word, because it's like, this is my character. I endorse this character. And if this character doesn't come back, it's like, I'm not saying they have an unjust reaction to that, but it's like, I lost something substantial.
Yeah.
I did not get a return on my investment. And in a way, it is a real investment, because you do kind of, when you play a character a lot and you support that character and you put yourself in that character, it does become a part of you. So something is really lost. Something truly is lost when they don't come back. So I definitely get that. But what makes it interesting is no other game's like that. Fucking Alex fans aren't a part of me is lost because Alex didn't come back to Street Fighter 4. No, you don't see that shit. You just don't see it. They have tantrums just like any fan base, but it's not the same thing. There's a very different mentality that I only see with Mortal Kombat fans,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to... because every fan base has its, mature people, some not so mature, some crazy, some not so crazy, some super passionate, some... you have such a varying degree of fan types, no matter what the franchise is, and I don't know anything about the Street Fighter fan base, but just observing the Mortal Kombat franchise fan base for about... what has been 14 years now, almost.
Yeah.
It's an interesting bunch. We are an interesting bunch.
It's like they're networked into their favorite franchise the way Street Fighter fans are not networked into their favorite franchise. You know, that they don't. There seems to be some distance between the Street Fighter fans and the Street Fighter franchise. As in Mortal Kombat, they seem to be much more integrated, where things are much more personal if they don't receive the things they love about the game. There's something very personal about the Mortal Kombat fan base that I certainly don't with Tekken. I think is non-existent with Virtua Fighter. Although, has Virtua Fighter ever not included a character? Has anyone ever not returned for the next Virtua Fighter game? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. It's
I think they've had the same cast since 1998. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just so interesting. I don't know, just thinking about the whole fan base and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say on that subject. It's just fascinating, I guess.
Well, it shows the reason why a lot of people are the way they are right now. Even you and me, our hype levels are kind of in a weird, they're in a strange flux right now. I mean, at least for me, speaking for myself, I really want to play the game, but I'm not excited for it, if that makes any sense. I'm dying to play it, but I'm not really, excited to... It's weird.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. If you told me I was going to play the game in an hour, I think I'd get, incredibly excited. But if you tell me I'm playing the game in 12 days... I'm not really that excited. It's weird. I want to play the game, but I'm just not. I'm not I don't feel super interested right now. I don't feel. Before, even 2 weeks ago, and this is my personal how just excited and interested I was. I would constantly be checking the forums for any new information, constantly refreshing pages. Always, as soon as, if I had the smallest inkling of a trailer coming out, I would wake up at 8 a.m. or whenever they usually put it out just to check. And if something was up, I'd pop out of bed, get ready to record, and that's that. But I don't feel that right now. I don't even really care what else we see. I'm just I think also I've also recently started gaining interest in other things. I'm starting up a Pathfinder group again, which is D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, because I'm a big nerd. So I'm starting up a game with friends. Just recently we started this past weekend, so that's taken some of my attention and excitement away. So I've been excited to do that. But I have a hard time with patience. I'm an immediate gratification guy. That's just me. When I want something, I want it now, and if I have to wait, eventually I just lose interest. Well, I've been waiting for, 8 months now? 9 months? It's taken forever since they first showed off this game, and I don't mean that in, a negative way, people. I don't want anybody being oh, just be patient. Why are you being so negative? Why can't you be positive? Why can't you be excited? Why aren't you hyped? Believe me, when the game rolls around, I'm gonna be fucking pumped. It's just right now, 2 weeks out, I'm less excited than I was 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 5 weeks out. I've had, it's been ups and downs, but I'm definitely at one of the lowest points since we've started the Netherkast, and that's just because we've seen so much, speculated so much, I've poured so much energy, time. Thank everyone. Thank you everyone for listening to this, but the time I've put into making this, and obviously all the other guys, but then you throw in the editing and uploading and just I'm a part of every recording we've done except for the couple of videos that Justin's done. So I've literally put a shitload of time into talking about this and just thinking about this. And it's just I've reached that point where it's just fucking, give me the game, because I don't know what else to even think anymore at this point.
It's uncanny how similar I think our reasons are for feeling the way we do, because for me, I've had this rejuvenation of Killer Instinct, and I am just having a blast. When I'm playing KI, Mortal Kombat doesn't even fucking exist, because
right.
I love my characters. When I main a character, that is a commitment. And the fact that I'm winning with Glacius consistently now, that I'm actually winning way more than I'm losing on Killer Instinct, with one of my favorite fighting game characters of all time, it's great, and I'm glad to finally be at this point in KI.
Yeah.
But on the second thing, I couldn't agree with you more, because I feel like more than any other more than any other marketing journey, MKX has been the most exhausting. Like, just this one's taken a toll. Maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe it's because I'm way older than I was when I was excited for MK9. But I'm just,
there's a few factors, I think.
It's been exhausting. Like, it's really stopped being fun. Like around like January, February, where I was just like tired. I'm like, I feel like just the highs and the lows. It's like you jetpack into the sky, and the jetpack just starts like burning out, and you just fall and hit the ground.
It's like it's one of those amusement park rides. I would use the name for one of mine in Kansas City, but that's nobody's gonna relate to that. But my point is, it's the one that
What's the name of it?
The Detonator.
Okay, you're right. I didn't know anything about that.
Okay,
Go on.
Let's say it's at Worlds of Fun. But anyways, it's the one where you all sit around a tower, and then it shoots you up the tower, and then you kind of drop back down a little bit, and then you shoot back up, and then you drop back down, and then eventually you just lower back down, and it shoots you up like 150 feet in the air. It's one of the two towers that are like incredibly high up. If you don't go to amusement parks, you probably don't even know what that is, but they have them at like Six Flags and stuff like that too.
Well, say it again. Describe it.
There's several seats around like a giant tower, like a straight up tower.
It's like the Skyscraper or something.
Right. There's different names at different amusement parks, but they all have like that same ride. Yeah, that's the point. That's what this has been like. You shoot way up, and then you kind of drop down. Your stomach goes up in the air a little bit, and you're like, oh god, whoa. And then you go back up, and you're like, oh, and then you go down, and you're like, oh geez, and then maybe up one more time, and then down, and then finally you just get let down, and then okay. And I don't mean like let down game wise. I mean the ride. But that's my point: is ups and downs, ups and downs.
That would be a cool theme park attraction where you get disappointed after every ride. Like,
but I agree with you, and I think a lot of that has to do with. You said exhaustion. This has been the most exhausting one. I think age has to do with it. I mean, I'm like 5 years younger than you. You're 30, right?
Yeah, just turned. So our birthdays are actually really close.
Yeah, we were close. I think we're both February, right?
Yeah, I'm the 12th, and I think you're like the
23rd.
Yeah.
So yes, 11 days apart, just 5 years on top of that. But yes, so I'm not saying like, oh, we're both the same age or we're both feeling the same things. I'm just saying, I think as you get older, you look at things differently, but the main thing of why this has been so exhausting is because of the Netherkast, and just I feel like we've gotten used to this, okay? We've done this how many times? You've been around since what? Deadly Alliance Deception?
On MKO,
or just in general, like forum boards leading up to the games, following the games, like marketing
well, in that
or whatever.
sense, I've been there since MK. Well, technically, when I first got into Mortal Kombat 2 had just come out.
Right.
3 was the first one where I was part of the marketing and actively following it. So it's not about that long.
Okay. So that's when you first started like looking forward to each news bit on the next game.
I was buying like every gaming magazine, hoping for some game news. I was looking for the new select screen, all that jazz.
Okay, so that means you've been a part of it even longer. I've been around since 2001, and if MK3, that's like 94 or 90, yeah, somewhere around there. So that's my point, though. It's like we know the drill here. We know how this goes, but it's so exhausting because for the first time, we actively were committed to talking about everything, thinking about everything, analyzing everything.
There was no escape. You had Mortal Kombat was on my mind whether I liked it or not.
Right. We had to. We were committed. We were obligated. And that's not in like a bad sense at all. We've enjoyed this. The Netherkast, I think, has been a tremendous experience for us. For me personally, I can't speak for everyone, but this has been an incredible outlet to be able to talk.
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, the Netherkast, in one way, you're right. It has added to the exhaustion, but in another way, it sort of pacified me. Like, when I was upset about the marketing, I had the Netherkast. You know, I had that vent. So that did help as well.
And there's a total difference between venting on a forum board and venting vocally to other people, because
Oh, it's great. I love it.
One, you're going to have a lot more respectful responses and debates on here, and you feel like you're being heard on here, whereas forum boards, people can completely, pass over your post or not even respond to it, or just pick apart one little thing to complain about, or just give you an immature response or some BS like that. And this is, it's been a tremendous platform to be able to kind of discuss things, and it's just a tremendous fun experience, and I definitely would not change a thing about what we did, but definitely it's added to the exhaustion for sure. Like, after analyzing every little trailer, which I would have done anyways, but not to this extent, and it's just, I don't know. I think ultimately, I don't know how you feel about other games releases and marketing. I know you're not too particularly fond of the ones leading into this game, but
well, these days none. There's no game I get excited for except Mortal Kombat, and that's really been true for the last 5 years. I'd say there's no game I'm really dying to play anymore.
See, for me, what I was gonna say is I follow a few games like this, not as hardcore like this, because I don't do a podcast for any other ones, or like go to with Hate. I guess there's only like a couple more that I follow pretty closely, and that's Halo. I'll do the forum thing, not nearly as like crazily, but I'll follow all the news once I get up to a certain point. Batman games, I usually do that. Though I haven't really with Arkham Knight, surprisingly. I haven't really gone to any forums or anything, probably because I've been so preoccupied with Mortal Kombat. It's kept me pretty busy, which is awesome, because I haven't even really thought of Arkham Knight other than, orgasming over the trailers that come out, which are amazing, and I can't wait for that game. But like, I haven't even really thought about it because I've been so preoccupied with Mortal Kombat for the last 9 months or whatever it's been. Whereas I will only have to have that like 1 to 2 month wait till Arkham Knight comes out, so that's awesome. But anyways, my point was, this happens to me with all games because I don't know, I have eves and flows, ups and downs, ins and outs, giggity, when it comes to how interested and excited I am. I've said this before, I go through phases. There's certain times where I'm super into like horror movies, then there's other times where I just don't feel like watching them. There's certain times where I'm super into superheroes and actually read my damn comics that I buy all the time and then just let sit there. And there's other times where I just let them sit there and don't care. And then there's times where I other examples like Mario games, Pokemon games, what other games do I get? Splinter Cell I'm a big fan of. Wrestling games sometimes I'll get into. Wrestling in general is a big thing for me because I watch it every damn week, but then there's certain times where I just like, I'll fast forward through most of it, and then when WrestleMania and Royal Rumble come around, I'm super excited and pumped for it because that's when it's actually decent. So like, it's just Mortal Kombat, and with all those other things, it's all the same type of thing. I just go through phases, and I'm finally hitting that empty on Mortal Kombat, like carrying right now. And so that's just me personally, and that's not speaking for anybody else, but that's how I operate. And
I used to operate that way too, especially with like music. Like when a new album was coming out, like I'm a huge music lover, I'm a big musician, and that stuff used to have that effect on me. But I think what makes Mortal Kombat so special is that it's the only thing I still follow. That's really about it, Gaming wise, I kind of lost touch with everything once I got to college, but
right.
I think one reason why the Netherkast has been so therapeutic is when I vent my frustrations on the forum, it's kind of like I had to UPS my thoughts to somebody else.
And you have to wait for a response.
And you got to hope they open the box and maybe just got in their mail and be like, Temp, fuck this guy. With the podcast, it's like I can inject my frustration with a syringe into the other person. And that really makes me feel better because I feel like I really got it off my chest. I didn't just throw my frustrations at them and hope they listened and gave a shit. That makes all the difference to me. And I think another reason, go.
No, go. You go for it.
Me?
Yes.
No. One reason why I think this has been especially exhausting is because unlike any other Mortal Kombat, never has there been this many variables. Never has the roster been more contentious than it is now.
True.
Even with Deadly Alliance, it's like which MK3 and 4 characters are they going to include? Deception, We knew so many characters coming out of the gate that it was just a matter of who are the silhouettes, Armageddon versus DC, those don't even count. MK9 doesn't even count.
Right.
In terms of like character surprises. But in this
Yeah.
game, it was who's coming back? What are they doing with the story? Who the fuck are these 8 new characters, I never even thought about that. We had all these debates about how many new characters there were going to be. And now we know. Has anyone counted?
I think there's 8.
Yeah.
And that's what I said.
That's what we said.
Yeah,
we
both,
were
yeah.
right. We're badass. But just so many variables. I mean, there was too much to analyze. There was too many worries. I never had this many worries for a Mortal Kombat game. And a lot of them came true, unfortunately. A lot of them, unfortunately, came to reality. And that... I mean, it doesn't ruin the game. I'm so excited for it. There's still a lot of things I do love, but I don't think there's ever been this many variables for any other Mortal Kombat game till now, and that really made the marketing harder for me.
Yeah, I think the reason why there are so many variables and why it is such a... And I've said this for a while, this is our first real, like, sequel MK game in a normal sense, not counting Armageddon, even though that was technically a sequel, but in just, like, in terms
or
of
even
roster.
MK9.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It was the trilogy roster. We knew
that's
it
what I'm
was.
saying. Like this is our first one since Deception, where we've really had to ponder who's going to be in this game, and who's going to make the cut. And that's been a tremendous like exhaustion because it's tons of speculation, tons of fan outcries and saying I want this character and this and that, and like looking at every little detail trying to see who this might be, and oh, I sure hope this person is, oh, this person's gonna be a cameo, well maybe they're potentially this. It's definitely been a battle, and this is the first time since 2007 or not 2007, since
2004.
Deception. Yeah, 2004. I was gonna say Deception 2007 for some reason, like both sound the same to me. It's since Deception, yeah, 2004, and that's 11 years ago. So we've all matured and grown. 11 years old, or 11 years older. My talk is not good.
Well, there's another big difference, though. With Deception, if your favorite character didn't make it, 90% of the time they were probably in Deadly Alliance. The only big characters that didn't make the cut were Sector and Fujin. Other than that, every big character was either in Deadly Alliance or Deception. Sector and Fujin were the only real examples. Like, no one gives a fuck about Jarek. And that's a big difference with MX because, like, I'm a Lee May fan. I've been waiting, like, 10 years for that girl to come back. If you were a Sonya fan and she didn't make it to Deception, you got to play her in a new game 2 years ago. That's not the case now,
Yeah, and for me personally, I know with Deadly Alliance, I was super, like, looking forward to who was in the roster. I can't remember in Deception if I felt the same. I would imagine I had to have, because that's just part of the fun, is always speculating and, holding out hopes with the people that you hope to make the game. But for some reason, that's 11 years ago. I was 14 at the time when that game came out, so 13 to 14 leading into the game, and for some reason, this feels like the most I've ever cared for who's going to make the roster. And I think it's because there's even more people to consider than ever before. And also, with so many new characters. And it's an amazing game. I think part of the reason why I want certain characters to be in MKX is because the game has never looked better. And I'm like... Look what they did with
phenomenal.
Yeah, look what they've done with so many. Like Kung Lao looks best he's ever looked, in my opinion. Melina is the best she's ever looked. Katana is the best she's ever looked in terms of model and gameplay, of course, on all of those. Kano looks good. Quan Chi looks good. They all look so much fun and such quality and detailed that I want certain characters to be a part of this legacy that's going to be left with MKX. I want Fujin. I want Cyrex. I want Smoke. I want these characters to be part of MKX because I want to see what they do with them. I want to see their new models. I want to see their gameplay look tremendous. I want to see the variations. I want to see all these aspects. And the fact that they may not be in it is disappointing and upsetting because MKX looks just top-notch, the best MK game in terms of quality yet. And yeah, to have certain characters that you think would be set it over the top, not be a part of it, that's just another MK game down and another 4-year wait potentially. So that's definitely disheartening. So I've never feel like I've cared more until MKX. I mean, I've cared in the past who made the games, but this is definitely the most passion and efforts and desire I've seen towards which characters make the roster.
And that's a word. People feel like if my character doesn't make this game, that's it. This is the last stop. The train doesn't go anywhere after this. So
it's
that's
25 years in the future. You never know, and that's another big variable that you were talking about is we're dealing with 25 years, and say the next game doesn't just like backtrack and cop out, or we don't reboot. That's 25 years in the future. There's going to be some characters that are killed off, some characters that never even come into fruition this time around because of the changes or whatever. They just don't feel like putting them in. And then some characters that just are ignored, or I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I mean, if you're a Fujin fan, and a worry for some people is like, Fujin has a strong fan base right now. Is he going to have a strong fan base in 2017? You know, that's scary for some people. Like, right now, I'm just looking through the E3 Deception select screen. I'm putting it in the chat right now. But we had the silhouette of every character that was in the game. I mean, Smoke is right next to Kenshi.
Yeah, I remember when they did that.
That was a new... But then we were right. For the most part, we were right. That was Cabal. That was Liu Kang. That was Tanya. I mean, we thought Smoke was Kentaro.
You know where you got this picture from?
Google.
Oh. I was going to say TotalMortalKombat.com is the actual site. So shout out to TMK for being an awesome guest. And yeah.
Good shit, dude.
And giving us all the support that he has since. He's been nothing but cool. But yeah, looking at this picture, I remember when they did this. I love the fact that they put silhouettes. I still wish they did that, even though would tear it apart easily within minutes and figure out everybody other than new characters.
Well, then again, since everyone has that fucking driver's license photo, I don't know if we could. Like, Reptile would just look like a bald dude. Ermac would just look like a hooded dude. Like, I don't know if I can break that down, but I'm going to say it again. Everyone thought that smoke pick was Kentaro. Everyone thought that. Like, or new Shokan. Everyone thought it was new Shao Kahn. That was the only character where we were really off. See if I could even guess who
Smoke is. Is Smoke the top left?
Nope.
Yes? No?
Nope.
Smoke... Oh, I know who Smoke is just by his fucking weird pointy head thing next to Kenshi.
Pointy things. You look at his pointy things and that gives it away, but...
Yeah.
Maybe Jade. We were wrong about Jade.
Yeah, I remember back then. That was fun. I love... See, I look at these types of moments with such nostalgia, like thinking back to guessing what the fucking characters were in the silhouettes. People did that with MKX, but they put all decoys like Rorschach and Terminator.
Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack Obama. Oh, man.
So I guess what I'm saying is I'm glad the journey's over and I can finally play the game, no matter who's in it. You know, hopefully the 26th character will be Havoc, or hopefully Fujin. Like, I want Havoc in, but Fujin just deserves it more.
See, and I love that. I love that terminology. The journey is finally over, because I'm usually of the thought, like, when the game finally is coming out, I'm like, oh man, this is like bittersweet. We're finally done with all the like the guessing, the speculating, the looking forward to the next detail, always being so excited for what's next, who's gonna make the, who's next to make the cut, what next, what's the next game mechanic they're gonna show off or game mode they're gonna show off. But then at the same time, it's like this time, because usually I'm like that, but this time it has been exhausting. It has been exhausting, where I'm finally like, okay, I'm done with all that. I'm ready to play this game, and I do not care if we speculate one more time for another year or so when Injustice comes out and then Mortal Kombat, etc. It's like, I'm okay to have that off season now where we just don't fucking speculate.
Yeah, I felt like a fucking hostage at a bank robbery, and they finally sniped the dude. They finally took him out, and finally the cops are like putting blankets over us, walking us out of the building. That's the way I feel right now. I'm like so glad.
That's an awesome analogy.
No, I'm not home yet. I'm not in my house. I'm not comfortable. I'm still filling out police reports and shit, but I'm done. It's over. Oh. That's how I feel, though. It's been a fuck of a trip. It's sometimes good, but a lot of times not, you know?
Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, I just had to point that out because you said the journey's finally over, and yeah, I definitely had to think about that for a second because I'm always, like I said, I know I'm just reiterating, but I'm always in that mindset like it's bittersweet. But this time it's just like, it's just sweet. Finally, I'm like, okay, we're gonna play this game, and I don't have to like think about all this shit or analyze every little trailer anymore. That takes work, man. It takes work, and I love doing this, so I don't regret any of it. But I'm ready to just sit down and enjoy this game that we've spent so much effort talking about.
Oh, I love doing this. If I didn't do this, I would have gone insane. Because if I had to vent all these frustrations in the forum, I would have thrown my head against a hard place. I would not have made it.
Oh yeah,
I would have been the guy in the hostage situation freaking out. I would have been the we're all gonna die kind of dude. Yeah, it would have been bad.
yeah, and it's and not just that. And I know this is like turning into like a if we're at like an awards ceremony or something, like, man, I would like to thank this for the Netherkast, man. But I mean, speaking of just like this whole experience, because this is the first time we've all done something like this together, not just together, but just in general, leading up to a Mortal Kombat, something we've all been a part of for so many years on the same forum, interacting with the same people, but this is the first time we all came together and did something like this. Not just this, but we've met some tremendous people, and like just and people that listen that we brought on have been really cool, and the whole little gaming group that we have during our live streams, and just us in general, the five of us having people to talk to on Skype in like a nice little group where we could all just immediately talk to other people and share info and just talk about whatever without, like I said, just without dealing with potential bullshit and annoyances, just being able to discuss with other people and having that immediate, even off the podcast, like I said, just on Skype, having this immediate gratification has been incredibly fun. And the live stream nights where we play, King of the Hill with other people has been incredibly fun. It's just been a great experience. I'm looking forward to MKX because my biggest problem, I mean, other than my like ADHD or ADD or whatever the hell it is, where I just cannot seem to stay focused on a game and like stick with it. I lose attention. I don't have the attention span to keep playing the same game for too long. I'll always come back to games, but I just don't like want to keep playing it for longer than a few weeks. It's like, I don't know. I'm hoping with MKX that won't be a problem because I have you guys to play. Like, that's always been a problem with Mortal Kombat is I don't have beyond like I have like a couple very casual MK fans as friends, and they don't stick with it, or I don't know, it's just not the same. So it's fun. It's fun having a group to play and talk about with, because I'm feeling you guys will be like, hey, you want to jump on? You'll just be asking the group, and then I'll just feel obligated to jump on because I don't like to be the guy that says no. So I'll jump on anyways and keep playing. So
you and Razor have that no problem.
Yeah. He in one sense and me in another.
But because of all these experiences I've had with the Nethercast, I can never really look at the forum the same way again. Because, like, Smoke and Sea is now a person I've talked to. He's not just a tag on a forum.
Yeah, it's like
anymore,
a family. It's a family.
Exactly, and these are real people.
We have, we're actual, like, a close, our inner family, and then anybody that listens that we've had on or that we just talked to on Skype or during the live streams, like Redman and stuff like that, and Kenshi Master, we are in a very sense of family. Everyone, they're our relatives and stuff, and we just all get together and have a good time, and it's just we all have this passion. And yeah, the forum is just it's not the same. It's not. That's why I don't feel compelled to post these past couple weeks, because finally I just got tired of the bullshit. And it's like I just thought to myself, you know what? I talk to everyone here, and I can talk to other people that I know from the forum personally on Skype and stuff, without having to go through the bullshit. So it's nice.
And I'm a little nervous because Redman is maining Shinnok right now. So Redman's really good. That dude's really fucking good. Like, the only reason I beat him was because it was online and I was able to get away with jump-ins that I really should not have been able to get away with. So if the netcode's better, I gotta be on my game, dude. Because Redman is no joke. That guy knows his shit.
No, trust me. I played several matches with him the other day, and I was just, ugh. There's so many times where I was just like, wanted to back out because I was just like, dude, you're just too good. Just, you're better than me. I've never contested that. You do you, as Django says, and I'll do me. Like, I'll just go play other people that aren't as good.
You know what the crazy thing is? He's such an honest player because he's doing, like, for me, I'm not really an honest player because I know I can get away with a lot of shit online. So I'm jumping like a motherfucker. He does not jump. He's doing dashing down threes and he's fucking like doing crazy footsies. That it's online. You don't need to do that. But he does. He plays like a tournament player online, even though technically you don't really have to.
Counter picking and all. Just kidding, but maybe not. Love you, Redman.
Yeah.
It's just when they better fucking have the DLC characters not in sliders because I want to be able to hide my shit from you all the time.
Oh man, yeah. So it'll be interesting seeing if the netcode's better. And man, I hope the netcode's better. I fucking hope it's a lot better because
yeah, even in the Angry Joe video, Angry Joe brought that up, and Boon was promising that the netcode would be better. He promised. Angry Joe literally got him to guarantee that it's better. But how much? I don't know how much, if that's bullshit, if that's just an answer. I mean, they can say whatever they want and not have to live up to it. It's not like somebody's going to come knocking at their door and say, you promised Angry Joe that you owe everybody a refund. That's not a thing. They know that they don't really have to live up to anything once the game is in people's hands. But at the same time, one would hope that Injustice was better than MK9. So one would hope MKX is better than Injustice.
Even if it is, Matt, the standard is... we've seen such good netcode. The netcode for KI is unbelievable. And the netcode for Tekken Tag... All the Namco games have pretty decent netcode. So I'm kind of tired of excuses at this point. If it's just better than Injustice, I'm going to give them a fail, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't play Injustice Online, so I really don't... Alright, I didn't play it online much. I did play it in the beginning, but...
It was ever so slightly better. And to be honest with you, in a way it was worse, because even though the connection was better, the execution and the juggles in Injustice are far more demanding, in my opinion. Your juggles have to be a lot tighter. So it felt worse, even though the netcode was better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like my inputs were dropping in on the online for Injustice. I don't maybe that was in my head, I don't know, but it felt really weird.
Like, I'm all for... I am crossing my fingers for a better netcode similar to the games you mentioned, and if it's as good as you say it is, and it can get as good as those games, then that's freaking amazing. I couldn't ask for more because I'm not going to any tournaments and I have no local scene here. So just like Justin, my MKX future competitively is going to basically be online against ranked people and just in our own circle, which is what I care more about. And I hope that it's really good. But all things considered and all things said, even if it's MK9 levels, I'd still want to keep playing, and hopefully you guys will play too, because MK9,
yeah, I'll be there.
It's still not that bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not, between us and Justin and stuff, usually it's enough to where you can get used to it and still pull off combos. It's not nearly as easy as not online, of course.
It's more that it's inconsistent than it is bad. Like, sometimes it's very workable, but I still have an extra 3 frames on shit, but that's doable. It's when it's like, especially I noticed this with Razor, sometimes but a lot of times with the Razor, it's like fucking underwater weightlifting. It's so sluggish. Like,
yeah, I've noticed that against Razor too, but going against you, I don't think I've ever noticed anything that bad. Going against Justin, I think maybe there was one time, but other than that, it's been pretty solid. So, I mean, as long as between our inner group of people and the people we play against, if everybody's pretty smooth, then I'll be okay. But I completely agree with you. Hopefully they do make it a lot better. And, you know, Ed's a big KI fan. There's no reason why they can't contact one of them or do something to find, like, hire new programmers, do whatever you have to.
Well, they're literally both based in Chicago. Iron Galaxy and NetherRealm Studios are both Chicago companies.
Well, there you go. I mean, are they really going to hide their netcode from the Mortal Kombat producer and be like, or director, whatever Ed is these days? I'm not really sure what the hell his part is at this point. He just seems like he's just there to be the guy more than
he's
anything.
like the producer more than anything. He's kind of like the Jerry Bruckheimer of Mortal Kombat at this point.
Right, he's just there to slap his name on there and, maybe lead things and kind of give direction.
He's in the creative process. I still think he's sort of like the imaginative director as well. Like, he's the innovator. He's the one that makes Mortal Kombat different every installment.
Right.
And then the story guys do their thing, and the graphics guys do their thing, and then he does his stick figures, and it all comes together. But
he's definitely the overseer. But yeah, in terms of like actual man work, I'm not sure exactly what he does. I think even in the Deadly Alliance video, now that I remember, he just kind of bounced from one room to another, checking on everybody. So it's very possible he does the same type of thing.
I believe it, because dude, that guy's metabolism has to be ridiculous, dude. Because he's been like fucking like, I bet Ed has like a 6-pack abs right beneath his like he is so thin. Like, that dude looks like a workaholic.
Yeah, he's definitely a workaholic for sure.
Like in the documentary for Deception, he was at work every day at like 5 a.m. or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Some days he didn't go home. I think like it was crazy, and it's interesting we bring up Iron Galaxy because I think the head honcho at Iron Galaxy, he is ex-Midway. Even Sven, before he resigned from Capcom USA, he was also ex-Midway. He wanted to see Mortal Kombat Street Fighter happen. A lot of ex-Midway went on to do big things, So yeah, those guys are still friends in real life, of course. But
yeah, so I mean, I don't know. There's got to be something they can work out, or just hire new people. I mean, the people complain about the female faces and the models in general, like the size variety in models, and they definitely have managed to improve that either by hiring new modelers or getting the ones that they have trained to be better. So you should be able to do the same with the people that are coding and scripting your internet gameplay or whatever, the netcode.
I just wish I knew what the problem was. Why was it bad to begin with? Because Mortal Kombat 9 wasn't even up to standard when it came out. Street Fighter 4 from 2009 had a better netcode. So what happened is what I'm wondering. Why was it bad? That's what I don't get. But
yeah, I don't know either, because I play shooters where you're trying to connect 16 people together, and I've seen decent connections.
Diggity.
Yeah. And decent connections between 16 people. So in full on environments, be it Halo or Call of Duty or whatever the hell you're playing. So why can't you get one-on-one in a small little stage to work? And I know fighting games are 60 frames. Well, I mean, I guess even newer, like the newest Halo Master Chief Collection was 60 frames per second. And point is, there's no reason why you can't have a one-on-one connection with all the assets going and have it be good. I mean, other games are doing that online and being decent with way more connections at play. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I'm also kind of weirded out by the idea that Mortal Kombat X on Xbox is going to be 1080p at 60 frames per second, because Killer Instinct couldn't do it. When Killer Instinct first came out, it was 720p.
Yeah, that was a big
Season
thing.
2,
yeah.
But they upped it. They got it to 900. But like Keats, from one of my favorite people, Keats, before he joined the staff for Iron Galaxy, was a big part of the fighting game community. He hosted a Wake Up Shoryuken. I love that podcast. And Keats, if you're listening, I miss that podcast. You and Ski Sonic, I don't care how busy you are, please bring it back. But anyway, like I was saying though, he was saying he didn't know how they did it. Because that extra 10% that Xbox allowed after they ditched the Kinect should not have gotten it to 900p. So how the fuck is Mortal Kombat 1080p at 60 frames per second?
Are you sure it's going to be native and not upscaled?
That's a good question. We have not... I believe it's native. I want to say they clarified that back in June. But, I mean, they said... when they were asked, it was asked in the context of, given the problems of Xbox, will it be 1080p? So if they meant upscaled, that'd be kind of shifty in my opinion. Yeah, it's possible though.
My response to that is they say a lot of things.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. But I don't know. That's why I'm glad the journey's over because we'll know very soon.
Yep.
We're gonna fucking
Yep.
know, dude.
Everything will be revealed. All the entire roster, who that potential 26 secret character is gonna be. There will be no what the faction things are, what all the faction. I don't know. I know you don't really care much about the faction kills, but I'm fucking curious to see what they're gonna be.
Yeah, well, Razor said that was gonna be a big factor in what he chose, you know. So I didn't think much of it till then. When you mentioned that, I'm thinking, well, maybe there's something about the faction kills I'm missing.
Do you want me to explain or?
Well, they're just fatalities that happen every time you like something eventful happens.
You
with
kill
a faction.
somebody from a different faction or something, yeah. See, I think why he said that is because if there's something really badass, he's probably going to want to be a part of that faction and use that fatality or faction kill. Versus not have something badass. I think there's going to be some... I mean, like, what if the Lin Kuei has, like, smoke and Cyrax and sector-based fatalities or faction kills? Like, how awesome would that be? I don't know.
That would be cool, but I guess it's just a short-lived thing for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not a fatality guy for, much, so obviously that's not, like, playing up to your interests, but I don't know. I disagree. I wouldn't choose mine based on the faction kill, so I'm not taking it that far. And I'm not saying I blame Razor for. That's just a personal taste type of thing, but for me, I just want to see what they're going to be because I'm hoping the Lin Kuei. I'm just hoping everyone has some really cool looking ones. I don't know. I get interested. Like I really dig creative, interesting, cool fatalities like that. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the game to dig it because everything is so elaborate now. I don't know. It's we'll see. And this is a good segue into stage fatalities not being in the game.
And one more thing on the faction kills
Definitely.
is I guess I'm just curious what they're going to be. Because right now we have no idea. We've seen literally, I think, 2 different special forces ones. We haven't seen any for any other ones, if I'm not mistaken. So what's a Lin Kuei faction kill going to have?
That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying is like, that's what I'm curious about. I could... Like, I don't really... I want to see something cool, but at the same time, like, the special forces is the easiest one to guess. Anybody could have suggested some weapon comes out of the sky and destroys your opponent in different ways, which is what we've seen, too. We've seen, like, a floating robot thing shoot at their opponent, shoot a whatever, and then the second one, we saw him blow out the knees and then a giant hole or whatever. But what the hell's Lin Kuei gonna do? What's Brotherhood of Shadow gonna do? What's White Lotus gonna do? Like, these are all things I'm really curious about. Is the Lin Kuei gonna be like Lin Kuei members surrounding your opponent? Are they gonna? I'm just curious. Could we see Frost? Could we see cameos basically? Because there's a lot of Lin Kuei members.
And also, if you were part of the Special Forces faction, one of the kills could be Sean Shamrock coming out and like punching you, fighting Irish style.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That's what I'm saying. I guess I'm just curious. Like, do all the different potential, like Brotherhood of Shadow and Lin Kuei. I'm not so curious about Black Dragon, but the Brotherhood of Shadow and Lin Kuei.
No one is curious about Black Dragon. No one gives a shit.
Like White Lotus, I guess I could see something lightning based for raid and assist, basically faction kill. I don't know what a Shaolin might have to do with it, but yeah, the Lin Kuei and the Brotherhood of Shadow definitely stick out the most as what the hell are they gonna do?
Why would there even be faction kills for the White Lotus? Aren't they like peaceful and shit?
It should be faction friendships. Damn it, I want friendships.
Yeah, oh gosh, man. Like,
I just want something goofy and funny. I'm really hoping they're holding on to that.
I'm still hoping for Fujin, but my heart gave up on friendships. Like, I still think there's a chance fucking Fujin could be number 26 in the game.
See, I'm the opposite. I think there's zero chance for Fujin. For some reason, I don't know. I just don't think he's going to be the unlockable.
I'm with Razor. Everyone said because of the NPC model, he's more likely to be in. I'm with Razor 100%. I'm the opposite. I think that model did not look like an in-game fighting character to me. It did
Right.
not look up to standard to any. Bo' Cho looked more in-game than everyone else. Hell, maybe it's Bo' Cho. I don't know.
See, I feel like the 26 has to be relating to the end of the story. Otherwise, why make him a secret? That's why someone like Fujin that's going to be in front of you the whole time, while cool, it just doesn't scream Mortal Kombat to me.
Yeah,
When I think Mortal Kombat secret character, like especially in this day and age, more so than anything, it's like I hearken it back to like Zombie Liu Kang or I don't know. I guess a better example is just in general. In MK9, who were the unlockables? Quan Chi and Cyber Sub. Well,
yeah.
Cyber Sub you weren't supposed to know technically until half or 3/4 through story or halfway or whatever it was, and Quan Chi I guess was right there in front of you throughout the story. So that one doesn't really prove anything, but I don't know. I just still feel like it's going to be like a secret end boss or a secret somebody that we don't see coming. I feel like the odds are in favor of something Shao Kahn related as much as I'm dreading that. I feel like it's going to be him in some new form, and that's why it's completely secret.
Well, for me, like in my opinion, Shao Kahn never should have had his. Like, the way Shang Tsung was a standard selectable character in MK2, Shao Kahn should have gotten that same treatment in, like, right. MK4 or something like that. The fact that none of the other bosses were standard selectable blew my mind. Yeah. Goro should not have been the pre-order exclusive, because why not just make him selectable,
Yeah.
But
pre-order exclusive should have just been some attire or something. I don't know. Like, a character's weird. That's just a weird thing to do, in my opinion.
It's on disc. It's on disc DLC.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. But I've always pre-orders. I guess they don't bother me so much just because it is technically free. All you gotta do is pre-order the damn game. Especially if it's a game that I know I'm gonna buy anyways. I guess I can't really complain. But I could totally see why somebody that doesn't get the game right away would be pretty pissed off that they have to pay for it because they didn't buy it day one type of thing. So I could definitely see why people complain, but for me it's not a big deal. But either way, yes, it's definitely on disc DLC. They should have just made it fucking one attire. Why would that have been a big deal? Or free Crypt coins, or I don't fucking know. Just
free Crypt coins.
I mean, certain games have done like currency and shit like that for free in the game. I don't know.
No, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that would be one thing I would improve about the game in terms of, like, replay value. Make the coins more valuable. You know how many fucking Crypt coins I have?
I know, that's ridiculous.
It's insane.
They need to make it a lot harder to unlock everything in the Crypt. Like, that, I mean, that's just more replay value for me. I know I can't imagine that's something you give two shits about, but for me, like,
No, I agree. Believe it or not, I actually do agree.
Like, I like working towards things. All the arcade endings, the Crypt, the challenge tower, the story mode, everything. I have to beat everything, and then that's when I usually like, I don't really want to play this anymore. But then that's when the competitive and like getting all the characters, like that's everything. That's what'll keep me going. But if you make the Crypt take longer, that's just gonna be longer I take to fucking beat the game or all the achievements or whatever. There's different ways to find replay value depending what kind of person you are, whether you're a competitive person, a completionist, a story-driven guy, so you want all the arcade endings and story. So, I mean, I'm all of it. So I definitely want a Crypt that takes longer. The Deadly Alliance one took fucking forever, but the MK9 one on the flip side.
I never unlocked it. I have like 15 coffins left.
I don't even remember if I did all the Deadly Alliance ones. It's been so damn long. I feel like I did, but so damn long. Whereas the MK9 one didn't take long at all. So I don't know.
Well, I mean,
you beat the challenge tower and you got a shitload of coins. So
yeah, and I love the challenge tower. I think that actually did add a lot. I still go to the final battle.
Yeah, I did not look at the IGN videos of the towers because I'm just like, at this point, I just want to fucking do it. Like, I want to play it myself. I'm so damn close. If it was like 4 months ago and they came out with like a full-on like tower walkthrough, I would be all over that. But it's 12 days. I just want to fucking experience it. I haven't looked at Test Your Might or any of the Test Your Might deaths or anything. It's like, I love the Scorpion fatality that I didn't get to see in MK9. That was huge, and that left a lasting impression on me. Like, that's still I think that is my favorite. I think I listed that as, yeah, I did. So we've I mean that's the thing is we still have there's so much to this game we haven't seen, which is just crazy to me. They've managed to actually, and there hasn't been like actual leaks. There's been
the roster. That's a
yeah, but beyond the roster leak, which even at some people didn't believe, we've been pretty believing it. But regardless, I'm surprised 12 days out there hasn't been like that many leaks. I mean, I know there was like story details and the alt outfits and the stages, but that wasn't 100% confirmed or anything like that, where people are making threads left and right with, spoilers all over the fucking place. Nobody did that. That thread kind of died. So either it got proven fake or just people chose not to believe it. But
well, the crazy thing is, it's not even really 12 days because historically, every fighting game that's come out in the last 5 years
is leaked.
Well, not even leaked. Well, I mean, yeah, that's probably true. But like Marvel Street Fighter Cross Tekken, almost every tournament player got their copy about 2 days early, just because they knew retailers. That's just the way things went. So it's going to be no different. I mean, if you want the story spoiled 48 hours before you play it, you can do that. That is very possible.
Yeah. No, I know that will happen. I'm just saying 12 days is fucking awesome. Like, I'm proud of them this time. Like, they've actually maintained some damn fucking secrecy. But
the only character that was really hurt by the leaks, in my opinion, was Jax.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
Jax
was the only character that was really de-hyped because of the leaks.
I agree with you on that. I'm still not like feeling anything for Jacqui, and Jax is Jax. He's cool, but it's not somebody I care to see in this game personally. Like, I'm not disappointed he's in, but at the same time, he's all right. Like, I'm just kind of okay. It's Jax, but I'd much rather have other people. But I'm not. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. He doesn't look bad.
It's just, I don't know, man. Like,
he doesn't need to be in the game. I agree, but
it comes down to the last train home kind of mentality of, if my character doesn't make it, this is it. There's no, they're abandoned. Even if they come back in 4 years, the gap's too big at that point. The legacy's been damaged beyond repair.
They had a really weird. One thing we can discuss now that we know pretty much the entire roster but the 26th character, if there is such a thing, is the reveal, not the schedule. We've talked about that. The reveal order of these characters. It was pretty freaking weird, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Hanging on to Johnny and Sonya for so damn long, and Jax, all three of them should have been day one reveals or something, or within the first few 2 or 3 months, because they are not somebody I think of when I'm like, that last push of somebody that we're saving that's very special. They do not jump to my mind. For one, Johnny and Sonya should have been revealed right away, just based on, okay, they were the survivors from NK9, you might as well just fucking lead with them, because it only makes sense. But if they're gonna make the game, of course. But beyond that, just all three of them. Johnny's great, don't get me wrong, but all three of them do not. They're just the human characters. They do not strike me as the three characters you saved to the last month before the game's out. That's just weird.
It wasn't even really, Shadow. I agreed with him at the time, but I don't know if the spoiler argument was really applicable after all. They can't show the descendants because it would be a huge spoiler. I don't know if that turned out to be the case,
Yeah, because just because you show descendants doesn't necessarily mean a game the parent would be in or whatever. The relative would have made the cut either, but I don't know, regardless, it was just a weird let me think. Let's think of the order here. You had Sub, Scorpion, which are obviously mandatory pretty much off the bat because you just want to get them out of the way, and they're the biggest draws to Mortal Kombat. And then beyond them, we had 4 new characters right off the bat, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but maybe 2 of them should have been saved. But we had Ferritor, Kotal, Cassie, and Devora. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I said, maybe save 2 of them and put them somewhere else. But then we have
Raiden was the next one.
Raiden, Kano, Quan Chi, in that order.
Yeah.
Raiden, I agree with. Once again, an obvious one. He should have been shown when he did, so I can't disagree with that one. Kano makes sense from what we're saying. If you're going to have Kano in the game, get him out of the way earlier. And Quan Chi, once again, makes sense because he's an early one. Okay. Then let's move on to... That's when we had our 3 months of hell. Or whatever the hell it was, 2 months or whatever.
We were in the fucking desert, just like fucking crawling by one arm.
Looking for anything.
Kung Lao was like a sweet oasis of just happiness, you know.
So then we had Kung Lao, Ermac, or Kung Lao, Katana, Reptile, and Ermac. See, when I think like characters you wait till the end, I think of an Ermac. Because Ermac's interesting. Ermac's cool. He has great gameplay, very, very flashy gameplay. So a trailer of Ermac is something awesome that can get you hyped in the last hour before the game, or not literally, but you know what I'm saying. The final push. Ermac is that character where you're like, fucking yeah, he looks badass in this gameplay. He's really cool looking. You know, nasty ass abs and face aside, but Jax,
yeah, he looks good in the photos, but yeah, go on.
But Jax, no, like Jax is not. Jax should have been with the Kanos and Johnny and Sonya should have been there too. But this is just a weird roster. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know what also hurt things really badly?
Yeah,
the comic. I mean, I like the comic, but it really sucked the hype out of a lot of reveals. I mean, it's a shame. It really hurt Jacqui. Jacqui was hurt badly by the comic because people were... It's a shame when people know about the new character and they go into the reveal hoping she's not playable. That's bad. Like, they should have revealed her ass early on.
Yeah, whereas Aaron Black is the exact opposite. If anything, he was fucking bumped up because of the comic.
You fucking rode that Ferrari.
Yeah, and if they
fucking marketing,
that was really good way to hype up a character in terms of the comic got people excited to see this character and they were crossing their fingers hoping he made it. Whereas Jacqui, like you said, is the exact opposite. So there's the pros and cons of having somebody in the comic beforehand.
Oh, by the way, a wild Django appears.
Yeah, I see that. I just noticed. I have my notifications turned off just so they don't come out through the speakers, but yeah, I saw that. He'll be joining us. When
he jumps in, that'll be a good moment for me to get something to drink. And
yeah, but what other characters did we have? We had Takeda.
Kona and Katana were kind of paired in a weird way.
Yeah. See, and that's... Melina. Melina's another one. Like, I guess she makes sense to hold on, but I guess most people were like, where is Melina? Why isn't she shown already?
Yeah, and a lot of people, like, this game, visually... It doesn't look as much like Mortal Kombat as the previous games did, so I think people were really hoping Melina would have that classic feel. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, some people just want eye candy. Like, I guess in a weird way, I sort of relate to that because that's what MK looks like to me. That's the way it's looked for a lot of years. But I do like the more conservative approach. I just don't think Melina's as good as she could. Like, I don't mind her being. And I know you said in the episode that it's not necessarily conservative, but it just I feel like she looks a little bland right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like
I guess it's easier for me because I actually do like the way she looks in this game. I don't know. I think this is. I've never been a big fan of the way she looks though. Like outfit wise, I liked her deception, and that's it. That's literally the only outfit I've ever liked for her.
I really like them all. I mean, MK4 is probably the only one I don't like, and believe it or not, that is the sluttiest she ever looked. Like, she looked really bad in that game. Now she kind of looks like a Mary Tyler Moore stripper, which I think is a huge improvement. In MK4, she looked bad. I thought she did.
Right.
But, I don't know. And the thing is, like, now that there's nothing to wait for, I'm really starting to... like I said, the comic hurt a lot of things. I feel like the comic... It maybe helped Takeda, because Takeda was so different when we finally saw him in game.
Yeah.
Like I said, Jacqui, I feel like if we had seen Jacqui in a trailer for the first time with gameplay, like, we still haven't really seen her gameplay yet. Yeah, that poor girl.
Yeah, that trailer did nothing for me, for her. And that sucks. Because I saw some furies of punches, for her X-ray and whatnot, and I was like, that's cool. I really hope her gameplay is a bunch of fucking like fast-ass punches. She should be the E Honda or Cammy type character for this game, in my opinion. That's just what I want to. If you're gonna make her a kickboxer instead of anything else, then you better fucking play the shit up to the 100th degree, and just have her be one fast-ass puncher type character and just pure on brawler. I think that would be kind of neat, but she just screams boring, and I'm sorry to the people that keep saying in the comments on YouTube that we're trashing Jacqui. I'm sorry, but that's my honest opinion. It's just she looks boring. She looks lame. She doesn't look bad. She's just boring. She doesn't even look. She gives me no emotion whatsoever. She doesn't like.
Yeah, it's not even negative. It's just a non-reaction.
Right. It's just like meh. Like, I'm not like, man, she sucks. I'm not like, man, she's great. She's just like, she's the character that I'm always going to ignore on the select screen. Like, she's not even there. Like, not on purpose, but I'm never going to look at her picture and be like, oh, yeah, Jacqui, yeah, oh, I could play her. And this is obviously, once again, we've not played her yet. This is prejudgment. This is called initial impressions. Somebody called us out for, or me or whoever it was, somebody called us out for like judging her before we've even played her, and it's like, that's what this podcast is, damn it. This is what we're just analyzing. We're not saying if we get our hands on the game and she turns out to be a complete, interesting character, we're gonna be like, nope, I'm sorry, I already decided that she was an uninteresting character. No, we're saying
I don't feel like it's unfair to judge. I think we have full grounds to judge Jacqui because, let's face it, in a game of wizards and demons and gods, she is a military chick. It doesn't even matter if she's Jacqui. This is why I don't really like Sonya. I just, in a game of gods, demons, and wizards, I'm not going to play the military person. That's boring. I'm not going to pick a fucking army lieutenant over a god. I'm just not going to do it. What they should have done, if they want Jacqui to be interesting for me, have, like Jacqui pursue her father into the Nether realm, and by the time he's resurrected, she's now like a seer. She's like a clairvoyant, or she's like a priestess. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of... That would have
sold Jacqui for me, but she's fucking Sonya Blade Cassie Part 7.
Yeah, there's a lot of archetypes and classes and characterizations that they have yet to touch upon. And that's why, I love Devora in that sense, that she is so different. You can say whatever you want about whether she looks interesting gameplay wise or if whatever the case, but you cannot take away the fact that she's completely unique in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Same with Kotal. He's completely different than any other character out there. Same with Aaron Black. That's what all three of these characters have going for them. But someone like Jacqui is just like, here, take another human character with basic, powers, and she, on top of that, she's a military person, and she's Jax's daughter. Like, Devora, Queen Insect Lady, is fucking, whether you're into that or not, you at least have to give her the fact that she's different. Kotal being an Aztec god, even though he's not technically a god, he's worshipped like one, and he has some interesting abilities. Okay. Gameplay aside, whether you think his gameplay looks great or not, because I know you've criticized or not really criticized, but you just said he doesn't really look interesting gameplay-wise, but personality-wise, he's fucking awesome. His characterization, I think, is really
I
good.
agree.
And his look is really cool. It stands out. And then you have Aaron Black, whose gameplay, personality, and look all look fucking badass and different compared. There's no gunslinging cowboy in Mortal Kombat. So all three of those characters are called new characters that are done well because they stand out and they separate themselves from the pack, both from initial look and also gameplay wise, which is essential to your survival in a Mortal Kombat roster filled with over 60 characters. So if you're going to be brought back, you better be bringing something to the table. Jacqui? What the fuck does she bring to the table that makes her stand out right now? And once again, initial impressions, but dear God, little wrist guns or whatever, those flamethrowers or whatever the fuck that was, missile launchers? No. We've seen enough gadgetry, military gadgetry from Sonya, Jax, even Stryker. You could make a...
And even they don't do a great job of it. Like, Jax's metal arms kind of work, but who fucking loves Sonya for the rings? Who said, oh my god, I saw the rings and I was in love on day one? No, no one gives a shit. People like Sonya because they relate to the character for some reason, you know? And for me, if you want to make a Special Forces character interesting to me, fucking incorporate a character who wouldn't be part of the Special Forces, who somehow found their way through an interesting string of events. Let's say Smoke and Jade had a daughter, and her name was Jacqui. That would be interesting. That would be crazy, because, like, oh my god, like, I would have never expected these two to have a kid. I would have never expected them to work with Sonya. Like, that's interesting to me, you know? And,
yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Ferritor, for example. Ferritor has the biggest uphill climb ahead of them in terms of new characters, you know, maybe against Jacqui, but Ferritor, for instance, doesn't look like the most appealing character, exciting character, but for fuck's sake, at least the concept is new to Mortal Kombat of a big brute character with a little girl or whatever, little lady being the mouth. I mean, at least that's new to Mortal Kombat, the franchise. Jacqui is not new to this franchise. So Ferritor is, like I said, is going to have the biggest struggle of getting a fandom behind him and getting brought back in a future game. The story and the gameplay is really going to be what, you know, makes Ferritor sink or swim. But at least Ferritor, as the two of them, bring a unique dynamic to the gameplay of two characters working together, since we don't have Noob Smoke anymore, of course, of a character literally throwing another character around for their combat and a big brute with, like I said, a little lady being the mouth. That's different, at least, and their role in the story could definitely get them some fandom or not. So, like I said, Jacqui's just the blandest one of the entire bunch, and I don't know what the hell's gonna make Jacqui pop. What's gonna give Jacqui this flair? Unless something radically changes her in story mode, like she gets her legs blown off, or even that, it's just like, that's still Jax. That's still cybernetics. Yeah. We have cybernetic characters between Kano, the actual cyborgs, and Jax. We don't need another character with cybernetic limbs or cybernetic attacks. So what's gonna separate this girl from the rest?
I don't know, man. And I'm picturing it now, fucking, if Smoke and Jade did have a daughter, just dark skin, like long platinum white hair and just military outfit, that would have been interesting. People would have bought that. People would have been excited for that, you know? But
I'm digging, like you said, the Seer, like fucking... I mentioned earlier how I'm starting up to play Pathfinder, which is like D&D. Well, guess what? When you create Pathfinder characters for yourself, they have a whole fucking list of classes and races you can play. Why? I mean, fucking roll a damn die to randomly choose two combinations of those, and there you have probably a more interesting Mortal Kombat. No, I guarantee you, as long as you take human out of the equation, you're going to get a more interesting Mortal Kombat character. And that's not because I have anything against human characters. It's because Jacqui is literally the most boring combination, and we already have it. We already have several military characters, and we have a female military character. We have that. And she seems like the serious type. We have a serious military character, female. We have this. So, I mean...
we have like 3 of them now.
Give us the Seer. Give us a Barbarian. Give us a Witch. Give us... anything.
And how interesting would it have been as a story arc?
Give us a fucking alchemist. Give us an alchemist. I'm playing an alchemist in this Pathfinder group. I'm playing you know what character I'm playing in my group? I'm playing a 1'9" tall frog alchemist. How fucking badass is that, dude?
Picture an adorable frog with a cape.
Dude, it's 1'9". That's fucking tiny. You put out your leg from your kneecap to your foot. My frog is that tall. And he's an alchemist throwing bombs of different types at people. That's fucking sweet. And he does all these magical shit, and he's stealthy as fuck. Like, come on. Like, why are you not using more creativity? Don't give us Jax and his damn daughter just for the damn family feud. Give us interesting character types.
Family Feud is right, and like I said, it would have been a really cool, heavy story if Jacqui was this girl who grew up knowing that her father was in hell, so she gave her life to alchemy or the dark arts or to the Shaolin to try to make peace with that or do something about it. That would have been interesting. But well, first of all, what's up, Django?
Hey.
Shut up. I'm just kidding. You just were very silent for a while we were talking. But like take my 3 favorite characters right now. Cyrex, Sub-Zero, Kenshi. One's, the Cyborg thing, he's not necessarily unique because of that, but it's also you take his story into account with the cybernetics and his gameplay, he's unique. You take Sub-Zero, fucking unique. You take, and just badass. And you take Kenshi, who's a blind swordsman telekinetic user. Like, that's a fucking badass combination.
Yeah.
Why are we not getting more of... I mean, we are getting more of that in the name of Aaron Black, Devora, and Kotal Kahn. Like I said, 3 really awesome fucking characters. For one reason or another, that are bringing something new to the table. Why... What was the mindset between Jacqui? Like, we haven't seen the story, so maybe she's gonna play some big giant pivotal role, but if she's just part of the Scooby-Doo and the gang, like Scoobs, all right, like, it's just like, if
the kid is on point, Jacqui takes the rear. That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right, well, I want to take 5 minutes just to get some more tea and maybe grab a quick bite. We're right back, guys.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on Jacqui as a character from what we've seen thus far?
Dude, I love Jacqui. She is my new day 1 main. You know this.
Stop. Be real. We were having a conversation, okay? I think you caught the gist of it, but let me just recap real quick, highlighting the bullet points. The argument at hand is, what's the mindset by bringing in a character like Jacqui, who's a military serious female, which we already have one of those, and she's a human, and she's military, which we have several of those, against, like, what's her chances of survival in future games? What makes her interesting enough to get a fan base over characters like a Kotal Kahn, who's completely unique in personality and in look, and his gameplay looks decent, an Aaron Black, who's the complete package, just in terms of an interesting character, and Devora, who's at least different to Mortal Kombat. That archetype has not been played up. An insect queen that looks completely different than any other character. How's a character like Jacqui going to gain any groundwork? Or, like, why is this even a thing? Why'd they do this?
I mean, even if you're comparing her directly to her peers, like, Kung Jin, he has something that's unique to him.
Yeah, he's an archer, yeah.
Yeah, he's Mortal Kombat's only ever bow user. And then Takeda, I think he has unique stuff too.
Yeah, the whips.
Right. And he's also a fun descendant because he kind of has 2 daddies.
Yeah.
Which, is so progressive. I don't know about Jacqui, man.
She's easily, and I pointed out Ferritor. Like, Ferritor is going to have an uphill battle too, similar to Jacqui's, just because Ferritor is currently lacking something. But Ferritor at least has in their favor a unique, characters right, technically in Mortal Kombat that's currently not already being represented in the entire series, of a big brute with a little lady being the mouth of the whole operation and the brains of the operation, and just the whole combo of everything, and them both playing at the same time type of thing.
I feel like, and like you said, we haven't seen that much of her yet.
Right.
But I definitely feel like she's the weakest link in that chain among the new characters.
But I mean, just like, yeah,
she's not doing anything that no one else is doing. She's not. I mean, from what we've seen, she's barely doing anything that Jax himself isn't doing.
Right. And that's the thing is, say she's necessary for story. What is the necessity for her in gameplay wise? We have seen, like I said, and I've reiterated this like 20 times because I know somebody in the comment section is going to be like, how dare you just talk shit about Jacqui before you get her hands on her and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I've reiterated, trust me, we're going to see what she has to offer when it comes time to actually play her and see everything she has in the game and in the story, and then we'll reevaluate our actual thoughts. But just from what we know so far, she looks completely meh. Not good, not bad, just completely boring. She just brings nothing to the table.
I agree. But if one of these new Ford kids have to die in the story mode, I mean, at least we have someone that we can kind of offer.
Right. And also, one could also say maybe Jax dies and she's going to be the new Jax of the group. Like, just the entire
but he just
franchise.
did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's... See, I'm not a big fan of that either.
So that would be a little redundant.
Yes, a character dying twice in back-to-back games, so... I don't
So
know.
I feel like maybe she is, cannon fodder or whatever.
But then why make her playable?
And
not a far more interesting character? Yeah. Why not a Fujin, a Smoke, a Cyrax, a Havoc, a Raiko, a Boraicho? Somebody that has something unique to bring to the table.
Listen, I agree. I think it's a really boring idea that she's like, she's so much like Jack. She's a hand-to-hand combat type person. She's in the special forces. She has all these things like that. Like, she doesn't have that. And we talked about this before. She doesn't have the thing that makes you instantly go like, okay, that's something. Like, right. She really is just, from everything we've seen, she really screams just female Jax.
Yeah. And yes, I know she has like little arm cannons or flamethrowers or missiles or rockets, whatever the hell, guns. Not interesting. Not interesting in the slightest to me.
The
punches, the punches, the kickboxer route. Okay, I can see some potential there, but unless they go 150% kickboxer and drop this military shtick, then I'm not interested. I'm just not. So I don't know, like, and it's still not visually appealing. It's not when like Temp said in a game with
she's like the least visually appealing character in this video.
In a game with wizards, gods, monks that can fucking throw fire, somebody that contains souls, fucking telekinetic users, all that shit. You're giving us a military female human.
It's not even that. Like, she doesn't even look good. Like, she looks like a generic special forces NPC type character. Like,
right.
Doing stuff in the background or whatnot, or just something that doesn't scream like, man, going through this like screen, this person needs to get played by me.
Right, that's what I was saying. Is she's gonna be the. I see myself just completely ignoring her on the select screen, not because I don't want her like a case with like a guest character where somebody would ignore them, like pretend they're not there. I'm just legitimately never going to look at that character and be like, oh yeah, Jacqui, yeah, I gotta play her. I completely forgot she's in this game. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. She's just gonna be somebody I just have to go over to get to the next character. Ugh.
It's weird that people say like, this character looks like an NPC, like say what we think Li Mei may look like, but Django's right. There's something very NPC-ish about Jacqui right now, Boraicho doesn't look like an NPC. He looks like what I imagined he would look like if he was in the game. Rain, especially, so...
She looks like she got taken off the Disney Channel and thrown on fucking...
Yeah, no, I've been reading a lot on TY, and a lot of people are saying that.
She just... Yeah. And that's my argument for Cassie, is like... People... You can say whether Cassie's great or not, but at least fucking Cassie has a personality, and her look is a bit like generic military, but I think it looks decent enough. But Cassie has the personality to fucking bring it to the table and be interesting. Whereas if they're gonna make Jacqui just plain Jane fucking like serious face, I wouldn't advise that. Then I don't think so. I don't think this is a very good idea, guys. Like, if that's going to be her personality, then, you're just killing this character. Talk about being dead on arrival.
Like, it would be different if maybe Cassie wasn't in the game. Like, we have one character that kind of like, okay, she's like, you know, she has a lot of homage quality to her parents, and she's like this next generation. She's like a hybrid of two other characters or something, but she's still pretty similar to both of her parents in a lot of ways. Like, if you just that once, and this is that, and Cassie was that character, then that'll be okay. But like Jacqui is kind of doing the same thing, but seems like she's doing it nowhere near as good.
That's a good point. If her mother,
we already have another character doing this, not as well or better. That's what I mean.
Well, like if the mother was someone who mattered, that would make a lot of difference. Like, let's say the mother was, I don't know, Chameleon with a K. That would make a difference. Like,
Jax had a rough night. He got desperate.
So I don't know. Like, that's what helps Cassie a lot. You know, I suggested earlier Jade Smoke. That would be an interesting offspring character. You know.
See, I just want more character archetypes. I want more fantasy being represented, like other classes and abilities and powers being represented. They haven't touched everything. They haven't sat there. They literally have not done. Like I said, we got an insect queen. That's different. You can't tell me these are the last characters that could be introduced into a game. If you're going to give us 8 new characters instead of all these other characters that could have been replaced or could have been in Jacqui's spot, then fucking make sure you make everyone count. At least make them count in their initial debut. Because like I said, Jacqui's dead on arrival. Unless Jax dies and they're trying to shoehorn her in as like the new Jax of the franchise going forward, then what
They're doing a horrible job at that then, because Jax looks pretty cool from the trailer.
He looks badass. He fulfills a role, sure, and Jacqui could never replace that just because it's completely different. First of all, it's just weird. It'd
be weird if she was gristled and smoked cigars. Like, that just would be contrary to what I picture.
I would be happier with that Jacqui than this Jacqui.
I would too.
Dude, that would be awesome now that I think about that.
Because especially if she's like 23 years old and she's just like, you know what, fuck you guys.
Had enough of this. But you know, getting positive though, I was looking over the roster, and you know what character I'm most excited to play right now? It's not Shinnok. Close. That was like my number 23rd character. Yeah, no, it's Sub-Zero. Actually, I'm really looking at Unbreakable a lot. And I'm really kind of excited for Unbreakable, like maybe more than Cryomancer now.
Nice.
Yeah, and God, it's just gonna be Sub-Zeros everywhere. We're on our first live stream.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Sub will be one I'd try for sure. Like probably the first one.
Like I didn't accent it on the podcast, but Shinnok wasn't perfect. Like, I think Bone Shaper looks really lackluster, although they didn't do much with it. And I hate the bone arm. The bone forearms look so bad.
I knew you were gonna hate that so much. I saw those and I'm like, that's great, but I know Temp's not gonna like that.
That's fascinating, because how did you know I was? I mean, you're right, but how did you know I was gonna hate those?
You strike me so far from everything we've talked about and discussed and reacted to. You do not seem like the type of person that enjoys the dark, creepy, spooky. Like, you don't like body parts being shown. You don't like the holes in things, the bugs. You don't like the gore of fatalities generally. So I don't know.
I guess
skeleton,
you're partially right.
And also because that means if you play that variation, you're forced to look at skeleton arms instead of his normal appearance.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, that's on the mark, by the way, because I think Shinnok looks so good. You put fucking Halloween skeleton arms on.
You're forced into it, which kind of does.
It's really distracting. They just don't match. They don't fucking match the rest of the outfit. It's like fucking if you put a peg leg on Cassie. It's like, why it doesn't look right to me.
Speaking of which, where's the fucking pirate character?
Well, that was kind of Naitara, sorta, but
yeah, but that's my point. I want to quickly go through. I'm on the Pathfinder site, and this has nothing to do with Pathfinder. I'm just using this because they have classes, and these are like archetypes that you could give characters. Okay, I'm gonna go through these, and we're gonna pick apart whether this would be an interesting character. A barbarian as a class. Do we have that in Mortal Kombat?
Ferrator, kinda.
Okay, a bard. And just ask me if you don't know what these mean.
No, we definitely don't have a bard. I wish we did. Like,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
a musician, and Django's a musician. I think we. I love Edward from Final Fantasy IV. If anyone knows who that is, like
Yeah.
that's.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, a cleric, which could be tons of different kinds of cleric, but that's generally a healer.
We have a diversity of clerical types,
Yeah.
like the Shaolin.
There's a
or
shitload
Havoc.
of cleric archetypes and stuff. Other
I'd
than,
say we're good on that front.
do we have a druid? I mean, a druid's kind of shapeshifts into animals and shit like that. So yes, you
Nightwolf.
could make
I would say
Nightwolf,
Nightwolf.
yeah.
Yeah.
A fighter, obviously. A monk, obviously. Paladin. So like a holy paladin, who's just all about.
Man, look, that's a thing. Like, I feel like someone else from like Nightwolf's world circle, whatever, would have been a fun like descendant character. Or I mean, not the least of which, because
I think a
their
Nightwolf.
parents wouldn't be in there. Not parents, not like a direct descendant of him. I just think
Right.
someone else for maybe his, I don't know,
Tribe.
tribe or
Yeah.
something. Like, but
That shapeshifts into animals would have been awesome.
right, exactly, and it would have been better because Nightwolf is not playable.
Or fucking
So that
variations.
kind of-
Like bear variation, tiger variation, hawk variation.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome.
With different speeds, different different traits, and that would have been perfect.
That would have been hilarious if like his 3 variations are like mystic, heritage, and bear. Like that would have made me laugh for some
Dude,
reason.
I think that character would be fucking awesome for Mortal Kombat. A shapeshifter, but just purely like animals. He's not changing into other humans or anything like Shang or anything. Okay, paladin, like I said, a holy paladin or an anti-paladin. So just somebody that's all about like holiness and like a deity, a religious symbol, like fighting anything that's evil.
If you stretch it, our paladin is Hotaru. If you stretch the concept enough. But he's kind of like a bizarro paladin,
Right.
I guess,
Okay, and then next up we got Ranger, which is what Kung Jin is technically. Usually uses bows, but they're like excellent trackers at like tracking animals, and they're one with like nature and shit like that. So, but yeah, I guess you could use Kung Jin as a
Even
Ranger.
Nightwolf would kind of fit that.
Yeah, kind of. Rogue. We don't really have like an actual rogue, do we? Like other than the almost like assassin roguish katana in this, but she's not a rogue. She doesn't play the class of a rogue. She's a princess / assassin. A rogue is purely like a ninja / thief, but they're all about like being super fucking stealthy and a lot of times like thieves and shit like that. Do we have like a roguish, like usually rogues are females too, so they're extremely like fucking nimble and flexible and shit like that. I don't know. Do we have something like that? I know we have something like that, but do we have like that class being represented?
I don't think so, but in a weird way, I'm okay with that. I feel like we have, like you said, we have a lot of characters that do partially fit the role. So
Right. Rogue's
I think,
very similar to ninjas. They're
like Bard. I think Bard is a real gap we're missing.
right. Okay, and then sorcerer and wizard. Do we have wizards? Wizard? I know we have
I'd say
sorcerers.
so. I put Raiden and Shinnok in that category, and even Fujin.
well, Shinnok is kind of a wizard.
Yeah.
Not Shinnok. You just said Shinnok. Shang Tsung, who's not in the game, but that's
Sorcerer,
that,
but
he
you're right.
always struck me as okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, a fucking sorcerer is kind of a variation of a wizard anyway, so you're still right.
Okay, here we go. Then we got alchemist. I don't think we have an alchemist. Do you know what an alchemist is?
Well, I know what historically they tried to be, but I don't know what, like, in a fantasy game.
Right. Here's just the brief description that they have. The alchemist is the master of alchemy, using extracts to grant him great power, mutagens to enhance his form, and bombs to destroy his enemies. Basically, somebody that's mixing potions and, like, think a scientist, but fucking back then that's mixing all sorts of weird concoctions that either change his traits, like makes him more powerful, or maybe changes his size or heals him, and then also makes weapons out of it, like chemicals to make bombs of varying degrees: smoke bombs, fire bombs, acid bombs, force bombs, electric
Maybe Aaron
bombs.
Black to a small extent.
See, he has the sand bombs, but Aaron Black is going to be in 2. The next up is Cavalier, which is basically a Cavalier is somebody that rides like a mount around and think like knight. We don't really have a knight. Farah?
She rides.
No, she's not a knight though. We don't have a knight, do we?
Again, Hotaru, if you stretch the concept enough.
Yeah, I guess.
You really have to stretch, because Hotaru is a bona fide asshole.
And then another type of like cavalier would be a samurai, which we do not have. Do we?
Well, not anymore. It was Dairu.
Fuck Dairo. I wanted samurai decked out in samurai gear, like fucking think silver samurai.
I would love a really cool samurai.
Yeah, I mean, especially with those
sort of Sub-Zero.
Kind of like I see what you're saying. He has some gear that resembles samurai-ish type stuff, but I want a full-on.
Well, and then technically like Kenshi. That's kind of his whole deal.
Yeah, think of how badass. Yeah, he's a Ronin type character. Think of how badass. Like, look at the samurai pack. Like, fucking. Look at how awesome those look. Why not have a full character that's a dedicated samurai? That just sounds badass.
I would love more Japanese themed characters. I wish we had more.
Right.
Like with maybe someone like a really cool kabuki mask or a no mask or something like that. Just there's lots of fun, like weird, culty, demonic shit you can do. I think it was TMK, creepy Japanese shit.
I think it was TMK or Razor that said something about like he's finally happy that Japanese influences. I think it must have been Razor with the Japanese thing. I don't know. It was one of the damn two, but they said they're happy to see more Japanese influence being represented rather than just Chinese. Because there's a lot more Japanese stuff shit. That's cool stuff, like cool looking. Next up is Gunslinger, that's Aaron Black. He's definitely a gunslinger. Then after that's Inquisitor, and Scourge of the Unfaithful and Hunter of Horrors, the Inquisitor roots out the enemies of her faith with grim conviction and an array of divine blessings.
Oh, that is definitely Hotaru. That is for sure Hotaru.
Yeah, it's all about getting the truth and shit like that out of...
Isn't that kind of what Ashra's deal is?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see Ashra, too, just getting rid of demons. Yeah. Ashra could even be a paladin of sorts, because isn't Ashra getting rid of demons?
True.
Yeah, and then we got Magus. This one's a bit of a longer description. There are those who spend their lives poring over ancient tomes and texts, unlocking the power of magic, and there are those who spend their time perfecting the use of individual weapons, becoming masters without equal. The Magus is at once a student of both philosophies, blending magical ability and martial prowess in something entirely unique.
The Red Mage, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, we got a lot of that, weapon users and magic users, so... That's not really, I guess... that's kind of represented a lot. Oracle. Drawing upon divine mysteries, the Oracle channels divine power through her body and soul, but at a terrible price. And then Oracle has a bunch of, like, domains they choose from.
What's the price?
I don't know what the fuck the price is. I was saying...
No, I want to know.
I was trying to think of what the domains are.
Maybe I want to be an Oracle.
I really wish this game had a creepy cultist. Like, that would be so much fun. Right? And well, yeah, Quan Chi sorta, but he's at the end of the day, he's about himself. But Mortal Kombat 4 had like characters like Rico and maybe even Tanya a little bit, who kind of filled that gap. But I don't know. I wish there was a cultist for not Shinnok.
Right.
But there's not. Just a regular human who's like, and Shang Tsung was a little bit like that too. I don't know. I would just like to see a weird, creepy cultist that's about something else that's not like...
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
The big bads that we've seen that are what's giving him his
somebody
power,
that's like somebody that might be obsessed with the Dragon King and like his legacy, but...
or even like another Earthrealm god. We don't have that many of them. We only have the two.
Next up we got Summoner, bonded to a mysterious creature called an Eidolon. The Summoner forces his power on strengthening that connection and enhancing his strength. Otherworldly companion. So he just summons shit, so we have that. Witch. Do we really have a witch? First thing that comes to mind in my opinion is Sindel, but is she really a witch? I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see. We got... Yeah, covered those. And then Arcanist, or Arcanist, or whatever the fuck it is. Arcane magic. A melding of sorcerer and wizard. An Arcanist is an arcane tinker and spell twister, reshaping magic to her whims.
That sounds pretty Quan Chi.
Yeah. And then Blood Rager, blending the wrath of barbarian with the innate magic of the sorcerer. The Blood Rager taps into his rage to create brutal magical effects. Players who... I don't know. Brawler, Hunter...
What Justin said made me think of this picture for some reason with a cultist.
Do we have an
I don't know why.
investigator?
I wish we did.
Investigator would be a fucking badass role.
That would be cool.
It'd be a little bit like, I mean, I'm no, this guy's not one of those, but you could, whoa, Finnish metal.
What?
Are they Finnish?
Yeah,
Who is
no,
this?
they're,
I've seen
they're
this
Norwegian.
before.
They're immortal.
Yeah.
I just love the dog.
It's pretty perfect. Like, there's a lot of Immortal memes. Like, there's a funny gif of the guy from Immortal screaming, and then fucking, I'll see if I can find it. But describe the investigator to me, because I don't know if I'm following on that.
Okay, when I think investigator, think like Batman and shit. But here's what the role of the investigator is, as per their text. Whether on the trail of a fugitive, a long-lost treasure trove, or a criminal mastermind, investigators are motivated by an intense curiosity about the world and use knowledge of it as a weapon, mixing gumption and learnedness into a personal alchemy of daring. Investigators are full of surprises. Observing the world around them, they gain valuable knowledge about the situation they're in, process that information using inspiration and deduction, and cut to the quick of the matter in unexpected ways. Investigators are always evaluating situations they encounter, sizing up potential foes, and looking out for secret dangers, all while using their vast knowledge and powers of perception to find solutions to the most perplexing problems. Investigators live to solve mysteries and find inventive ways to get out of jams. They serve as advisors and support for their adventuring parties, but can take center stage when knowledge and cunning are needed. No slouches in battle. They know how to make surprise attacks and use inspiration. So, I mean, like I said, think like...
That is Batman.
Yeah, I mean, think like Batman, but I mean, it doesn't have to be... basically, it's just somebody that's just fucking inquisitive and is always looking for answers and potentially following leads and is good at, like, looking at fucking clues and shit like that, and just very fucking intelligent. I don't know, do we have a character that's based on shit like that? Because I can't think of any. I don't know.
No, I can't.
Shaman, that's probably more like what Nightwolf would be for sure. Shaman's the occult mysteries of the Oracle and the Witch combined in the shaman, an enigmatic spirit speaker who calls upon powers from beyond. So
yeah,
that's very Nightwolf, yeah. Swashbuckler, once again, fucking pirate. So I don't know. That pretty much covers all of it, but that's my point. And I mean, I could go through all the damn races, but the races fucking... That's just my point, though.
No, yeah, there's not... There's a lot of ground that's not covered to
With
be
races,
covering...
yeah.
One ground a lot, which is what we were kind of talking about there, the whole special forces thing in Jacqui. Like, there's a lot of redundancy, it seems like, going on there, whereas you could explore these other interesting non-fulfilled roles.
Right, and that's my point, is there's so many different roles, personality types, and shit that you could cover that's just not being covered, and I just don't understand why. Like, why Jacqui out of all those things when, I don't know, there's just... That's just crazy to me, I guess. I don't know.
I agree.
Maybe Kenshi is the investigator? I don't know. Because he is special forces now, and he is kind of all about tracking shit. And being like a spy and whatnot.
Right. And then just, I'm going to blow through fucking races, but just here's how silly just the fact that not a lot of races, and obviously a lot of these are fantasy, medieval type shit, but just because it fits the type of thing. But you got your dwarves, elves, gnomes, half-elves, half-orcs, halflings, humans. Let me look here. There's tons of different fucking crazy shit now. You have, like, your monkey humanoids, your cat folk, your fucking vampires, which would
Can we
be
not have cat folk?
Natara. You have demons.
I want the cat folk.
Oh god.
There,
we had Kintaro one time. That's enough.
You have Natara, who covers the vampire, but that's just one. Once again, that's not really being represented very much. You have your demons. You have fetchlings, which is what I played before, which they're basically shadow people. So I guess Noob would be kind of like that, even though he's a wraith. But goblins, hobgoblins, fire.
I would say Baraka would be the hobgoblin.
Yeah. Fire elementals, and then you have wind elementals and air elementals and all that shit. So
Oh, Fujin.
yeah,
And
poor
smoke.
bastard. rock
and smoke, yeah.
rock humanoids, so people that have like rock-like skin or made of rocks and
Trimmer, yay!
rat folk.
That
I got
sounds
nothing. You stumped me with a
fucking
rat.
insult. You know what you are? You're just fucking rat folk. That's all you ever be.
Fucking
Tired of all these rat folk.
you dirty
around my
rat.
town.
Ooh, you dirty rat.
Think of all these rat folks should just get out.
Frog-like people, snake-like people, all sorts of weird shit. But yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of them because I'd have to like actually read the descriptions. That's gonna take forever. But my point is, they're just fucking in like fiction and fantasy. There's so much that they're not doing. And
Okay,
The point is, Jacqui, get the fuck out.
no, the point is, Jacqui is the most uninteresting combination of both like race, class, and personality.
Wow.
Literally, if I was making a character for something, anything, that is like the most straight fucking like boring character ever.
I'm a big fan of avoiding the puddle, and this is exactly what Eris said. It's like, why do we have all these fucking human characters? He was a smoke main, and I would say at the time of Evo 2011, he was the best smoke player in the world. And like when he was watching the story mode trailer live,
Right.
he saw Sub-Zero in the Revenant costume. He thought that was smoke, and he like fucking yelped. And then like just the downer came when he realized, oh, it's fucking Sub-Zero. Yeah, but he feels the same way. He was saying what pretty much everything you're saying, dude. Where's the noobs about? Where's the demons? Where's the sorcerers, you know? And to be a little fair in regards to the races and classes, Mortal Kombat's characters have always been very heterogeneous in the elements. They've never really fit into just one archetype.
Right.
You know, so I get that. Sub-Zero's the elemental and ninja. Scorpion's the ghost and ninja. Ermac is the ninja. Souls, but a lot of ninja in there too. Red, he's red. I don't know.
Well, he's kind of a sorcerer type now.
Yeah, he's very wizardy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just ultimately it's the fact that she's human's not even the biggest problem for me. Or the problem is, like I said, they took the three most boring elements and put them all in one character, and not even a unique character to the series. So it's like it's just frustrating because, like I said, I could spin the wheel and come up with a completely random character, and I bet you it would be more interesting than what they did. I could literally roll a 20-sided die and fucking pick a random race, random class, and random personality type, and get a more interesting character than Jacqui. And if
what if you get Rat Folk Investigator?
That's fucking awesome. Just think
So
of that.
weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Picture like Secret of Nim.
This little rat that's walking around like, are you a fucking rat? Better not rat me out, huh? See?
You want Master Splinter?
Oh, I missed a splinter.
Listen,
Don't
if
make
Master
it-
Splinter was DLC, I might have to main him.
That's
That'd
my
be
point, though.
fucking rad.
Like, it's not that she's any one of these things, it's that she's all of these things. And the fact that we've been talking about her for like 40 minutes is just... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, but I mean, it just means that's how much we care. And that's just how much, like, why? And even if her gameplay is kind of cool, or her story impact is something, she has some sort of great story role. For one, story could have been NPC. And two, even if she has cool gameplay, it still does not change the fact that just visually, personality, and just in, like, just the overall general character is boring. I don't know. That's my stance. I'm done talking about her. I'm just fucking...
Yeah, I think it is time for something positive because I feel the same way, and I'm not sorry. Like you took away my fucking.
No, I'm not sorry.
You gave me 50 billion human characters.
No, it's not that I'm.
sorry at all.
It's not that I'm sorry that we just like basically were very not positive about her for 40 minutes. I'm sorry that we took 40 minutes out of our time to talk about her.
Right.
That people probably just listened to.
We got some gems
know,
out of it. We have rat.
I've seen a
Rat folk investigator.
I've seen a Jacqui Sigger too, so she has some fans out there already. I don't know how, but they're out there.
She's beating Ferritor, I think, on the poll that I saw. So that's sad. And I know Ferritor definitely has an uphill battle, but Jacqui
I'm almost
really
rooting against him, to be honest with you. Like, I almost want Ferritor to fail as a character, just so in 4 years I could be like, you fucking wanted new characters, and now Ferritor's gone. And now fucking Jacqui's gone. And now fucking, I don't know, possibly Dora's gone, you know? So, I actually kind of like Ferritor, to be honest with you, but go on.
I like all of them for one way or another, except for Jacqui, and we already told her why, because I feel like everybody else at least brings something. Kung Jin at least is an archer.
I am not in that boat. I only like Aaron Black and fucking Takeda. That's it. Those are the only two I like. I can do away with all of them.
Ah, man.
I like a bunch of them, but Jacqui's definitely not on that list. Like, Kotal's cool. Devora is really cool. Like, yeah, there's several that I really like.
Kotal is cool as a person. I would hang with Kotal. I don't want to play him in a fighting game.
I would play him. His gameplay doesn't look super exciting. That's the thing. I wish they would have made his gameplay more interesting. But I'll select him once or twice and see what's up.
Yeah,
he would have been a great character to pick last to reveal, in my opinion. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
The comics would have done a miracle for that guy. I totally interrupted you again. Go on.
He would have. Well, I'm just saying he would have had the Aaron Black effect if they waited forever to reveal him. Everyone would have been hoping for Kotal for sure. And as far as Devora goes, I don't know. I can understand why one wouldn't like her, but I'm not into bugs. I do not like insects. I'm terrified by spiders and shit like that, and like scorpions and crabs and anything that looks like a fucking spider. I guess anything that has more than 4 legs, I should say. I just do not. Just creeps me out. But
you see, that's a character who needed pants. They need to give Melina's pants to fucking Devora. That character has no bottom. She has no garments underneath her waist. What? I don't get that.
See, I don't know. She's just such an interesting character to me. Like, her the way she talks.
Yeah,
like this one is hungry. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? But I love it. Like, that's just a cool way to talk. I just want to talk like that. And her look, I'm staring at a picture, like a fan art of her right now. She just looks badass. She looks cool. Like, I don't know. And I love the yellow and black. Like, yellow is one of my least favorite colors, but for her, it fucking works. I don't know. And her gameplay and I don't know. Her brutality was really fucking awesome. I'm excited to see her story. I really don't. I really hope she doesn't die. Like, I don't want her to do something really stupid. I want her to have great character development. But I don't know. I do like the idea because she's so unique. Personality, look, and gameplay is all different. And like I said, maybe she's probably the second total, like most total package in this game, in my opinion, in terms of new characters. Like, from top to bottom, just completely unique and has a lot going for her. Because I'd put Aaron Black at the top of that list because we don't have anything like him in the game, and I think there's no flaw in him so far. The personality's great, the story looks good, the archetype is great, the look is great, the gameplay's great, everything about him looks great. And I think Devora is very like similar in that fashion. Nothing about her, in my opinion, looks like lackluster, I guess. Whether she's your cup of tea or not, you gotta at least admit that she's completely different and unique in her own way, and not, or I guess, do you think she is lacking anything?
Well, I'm literally drinking a cup of tea right now, and there's nothing aura about it. And it's not that I think she's lacking. I mean, the concept is definitely not my thing for sure, but visually, I think she's very dull. Like, her personality's not bad, but visually, she's just dull. Like, I've been saying this a lot on the podcast and just in the chat. I've been playing a lot of Killer Instinct lately, and it's just amazing how every time I turn on that game, I'm just showered with colors and bright lights and just beautiful designs, you know. And Devora is just like,
and she is
dull.
No,
and so
she's very
Frank Millerish.
She's bright. She's
She wears-
fucking yellow with black, and then she's got all sorts of weird fucking colors on her skin going on.
It's such a muted yellow, except for her head, but that's like the worst part of all. Why? I wish she had like hair or like mini tentacles, like
Is she muted?
acted as.
I'm looking at a fan art. What is she
Let
muted?
me
I
bust
gotta
out the
check.
render.
I gotta check.
I mean, everything in this game is slightly muted, but
I get what
Yeah.
you're
nah,
saying.
I mean, I think that I like Devorah's look a lot. I like her a lot. She seems really cool.
Yeah, she's got a lot of personality to her. which
This is the
most
image I'm
important to
looking
me.
at.
I mean,
Okay.
if you're comparing her to someone from Killer Instinct, I like her a fuck ton more than I like someone like Sadira. Like
No, I like Sadira way more.
Oh yeah, I mean
Sadira can go fuck herself. I'll give
that
her
image is not a great example. She
No,
definitely looks
that-
muted in
Well,
that image.
Okay, how about this
Here,
one?
I
then?
got a
I'm
couple
not even
images.
done.
I'm
There,
not even
check
done.
this
I
one
got
out.
more. I got more.
Hey man, look at my picture.
Yeah, that's
Better, but not great.
the one you
It's
posted
still
looks good.
Black and,
And she's
like
got
vomit
fucking, like-
yellow.
She's got vibrant colored bugs. Like, what do you mean?
She's got a green thing, and the bugs aren't. I don't count the bugs. They're not part of her.
She
I mean, they're
is. Well,
they're
they
literally
are.
part of her, but they're not on her costume. They're inside her. I wish the dog from Immortal was playable. I'd play that.
I like
character.
her. I like that fucking weird ass like exoskeleton collar she has.
Yeah, she just looks fucking like, I don't know. She looks interesting. She's just so different. She's unlike anything we have, and that's why I love anything that adds variety to the game.
And it
she
seems like
does.
she has some pretty cool gameplay too. I think she's gonna have
Yeah.
a lot of like pressury type things.
And she's somebody that I could see expanding upon in a future game. Some character, like, what the fuck are you gonna do with Jacqui? Like, in a future game, what new specials? Like, oh, now she has like an arcing kick like Sonya. Like, that's fucking dumb. But if you give, like, with somebody that creates like all these bugs and fucking all these weird ass shits coming out from her and all these extra legs and stuff, and she can fly and weird shit like that, like, there's a lot you could do with that gameplay wise that they're not gonna just capture in this single game. I don't know, but it's just that's what I'm fascinated by her, even though I don't like bugs or any of that shit, just because she's just so different. I like different, and that's my main problem with Jacqui. Is she's offering nothing different to this franchise, and if you're not offering anything different to the overall roster, like the entire MK franchise roster, then don't fucking be a playable character ever. Don't be a part of the roster. We have enough characters that are going nowhere fast, so stop creating ones that aren't offering anything different.
Hot. What is this mess?
She just creeped me out. What is he? Is he still posting things without even talking?
Yes.
See,
Oh, I was on mute. My bad.
yeah. See, that's a fucking awesome image. It's
That is
creepy
the
as
worst
shit.
thing I've ever seen.
Dude, it's super.
I want it off my computer like right now.
No. See, dude, I'm disgusted by it and disturbed, but at the same time, it's just fascinating. How are you not fascinated by this?
Those bugs are about to go inside her in ways I don't even want to fucking.
But they're part of her, so it's okay. It's like if you crawled back up in your mom's vagina, it's okay. What are we talking about?
You ruined it.
Okay,
You were making
not-
some headway there for a second.
Not literally.
Don't say headway.
Does anybody else like the way her face is structured? I like it.
I like it with a hood.
Like the not the mask, the mouth, that weird fucking, like, how it goes up to her
Yeah, I
ears,
like it.
Joker style. Weird.
It's kind of alright.
It's interesting. I wonder if she can extend her entire mouth like that. Like a snake. That'd be creepy as fuck.
That'd be creepy as fuck.
There's some cool art of her. Here's a cool one.
I mean, she's a badass looking character. There's a lot of, like, imagination and creativity you can draw from that.
Oh god, look at that sexy ass shit.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a flattering picture of her.
She doesn't look bad, like, as a character. I mean, like I said, I am not into the insect thing at all, but I don't think she looks bad. She
doesn't look bad in that picture, but in that picture she's all
She just looks-
fucking modeled out.
and I don't even think she looks necessarily like super insect. She looks very alien to me. She just looks like a creature from a different world.
Which she is.
Yes, indeed, and that's why looks cool. She just like in a fantasy, like a Fifth Element almost like type setting. She just, or Men in Black. She just seems like a humanoid from a different world, which is
Fifth Element's a really good comparison.
That's what Jack should have done. He should have knocked up some Netherrealm chick, and then Jacqui's like a hybrid human demon thing.
That would be more.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And maybe, if it comes out that Jacqui's just like fucking Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, fucking, she turns into like this weird ass fucking thing sometimes when she gets angry, then okay, at least it's something different. But for fuck's sake.
Like if she was like half Jataka, that'd be cool. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Jataka? The Netherrealm thing?
Yes. Since he was a revenant, like Quan Chi's just like, you make baby revenants for me.
What? Quan Chi's into some weird shit.
Yeah, he is.
What if Jax had a baby with Quan Chi?
I don't want to see that fan art. I don't want to read that fan fiction.
No. I don't know. I'm like I said, Jacqui's the glaring omission, but you said something about her design does nothing for you. You think Takeda's is really great? Like his actual like visual outfit and everything?
When he's in the Scorpion alt, I think it does look pretty good. Because I see the reference. I see the Karate Kid inspiration in it with the hair and the voice and everything. And he looks like a normal kid who would be trained by Scorpion, you know? I don't like the Special Forces one.
Yeah, his primary is... like his
scarf is okay. I'm okay with the scarf. It's everything else I don't like.
It's
too over-designed.
His gameplay is awesome, but his visuals definitely do nothing for me. They do not, like I said, it's very Metal Gear Solid-ish type thing, which is fine, but I just don't think, it just doesn't work for me at all for some reason. Whereas, like, Devora fucking sticks out like a sore thumb in a good way.
See, I disagree. I like Takeda's standard. It gives him kind of that Nightwing vibe. And I love the fucking scarf. I wish it was longer.
Nightwing's in fucking like a full-on bodysuit spandex. What do you mean? Nightwing
from Injustice.
You know, if you copy and paste Nightwing's costume on Takeda, it actually would look a lot better. I mean, keeping the bandana, of course, but that would work. That would have looked really good. Way better than what we have now.
Shinobi, that's what I was thinking of. I want a Shinobi scarf on him.
Yeah, like a long-ass scarf. I mean...
Like Strider?
Yeah.
Both of them.
If you're going to anime him up, just fucking anime him up, I guess. Just take him. You can have Takeda. you anime fans can just have him. Take him. You have Smoke,
that was supposed to be Smoke in the last game, and it almost worked. Like, I love fucking David Bowie long hair from Labyrinth on Smoke.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah. On Smoke. That's important. Highlight that.
Just in general, man. No.
No, yeah. I'm done with the Earth.
But yeah, I don't know. What else are we discussing?
Just maybe we should just talk about something positive and like what are we excited? Like I brought up Sub-Zero earlier. What are we looking forward to that we haven't talked about yet?
I'm looking forward to, other than just being able to play the game, I'm still curious about Kenshi's gameplay. It's so odd that they're not potentially going to show him until like a week before, if that. And I'm still looking forward to Goro's gameplay because, as I've said before, if he plays like Doomsday where he's actually quick, I might actually be able to like main him in the sense of be able to get good with him. Because I'm not going to play him if he's just a slow brute. Same reason why I won't play Ferritor, even though I do like the character. I can't play a slow brute character. I just suck at it. I tried playing Solomon Grundy and Bane and in Injustice, and it just does not work because I like both of those characters and does nothing. I can't do it.
I really want to see who this unlockable character is. That's kind of one of the last little nuggets of hype. It's
going to be some form of Shao Kahn. You just know it.
It's possible. I just want to know.
Even that's
I want to have that knowledge.
It may be Jax for all we know.
It's not Jax.
No, it's not going to be Jax. We know that... Okay, we know there's 25 characters for sure. It's a matter of who that 26 is going to be, so it can't be somebody we already know about.
You say that, but Liu Kang was the super unlockable exception, and he had a trailer
Yeah,
like 2 months before the game came out.
yeah, but we're talking about the 26th character. We're not just talking about the story unlockable.
Well, I thought the 26th character was the story unlockable.
But then who would the other character be? Because we only know of 25 characters.
Well, that's what I mean. After you beat story mode, you unlock the 26th.
Well, then who would the character? Either way, there's got to be another character a part of this game.
No, why couldn't it be Jax? You unlock Jax after you beat the story mode.
Okay.
I mean, I honestly don't think it's going to be Jax.
But
Well,
my point-
there's 4 slots left in the thing. It's
Yes.
Jax, Jacqui, Sonya, and Kenshi.
So then we're saying if Jax is the unlockable, then who's taking Jax's
Right.
spot on the select screen? Either way, there's got to be one more character part of this game that we do not know for sure. That's what
Are we
we're
sure
speculating.
there's a 26th? Are we really sure about that?
I'm going off of what I've heard.
Going
who
off of
seems-
the bet that I made, I'm pretty sure.
Going off of what I've heard, who seems quite sure, as if they've known this for a long time.
Okay, I follow you. All right.
And apparently, ever since like dating back to like August, and that this person was supposed to be in the game, but they didn't tell me who. Potentially a new character, potentially maybe Havoc, I don't know. I just know it's not like 14 characters because they confirmed it was neither of those 14 characters unless they just blatantly lied to me.
There's 2 things that are interesting here. Like, there is the unlockable character that we want to know who. I want to know who that is. I also want to see what they do with fucking Goro. Like, is he gonna stay just like a regular spot, even though he is DLC? I want to see how that works. To me, that seems weird having a DLC character be on the initial like base roster. I don't know. I just want to see how that's going to
stays
work.
that way. I hope Tremor and everyone else is on the main roster. I don't
Yeah,
want them to
they
be
better.
hits like Tycon.
No, yeah, I want that too. I just want to see how that's going to work, and if Goro is part of that. I don't know. I want to see how that happens.
It has to. They, like, we've talked about this, but they have to either be resizing the boxes, accounting for DLC as they come out, like Smash do when you unlock new characters, or
Right.
they just need to make a top row just in the middle, so that way you're not covering the variations and all that shit, and just build up from the top row middle part.
I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll go the other route. I think that would just be weird if they started like going in the middle vertical, because there's just a lot of UI and
Right.
visual stuff going on
It would make
above the select. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be weird.
it would be weird for sure, but
But
I don't know.
they have a lot of room to
resizing
put those-
boxes would be the most
right.
logical. They even said in interviews or on stream or whatever that they have a floating box system that allows them to change things as needed. So maybe that was a hinting of like how they're going to deal with it. Because they haven't really changed it since. Have they?
They haven't,
They
and
they did add 2 more boxes, I guess. They originally were 24
I want to
boxes.
see how that works out.
Yeah.
I do want to say this though. When the game comes out, I want to do like Netherkast exhibitions, like 1st to 10s. Because I think, look, like me and Django's like Cage Sub-Zero thing has been a lot of fun.
God. Yeah.
Why, you're not down? You're not game?
No. I'm in. I'm totally in.
Because I love, I don't know, even the saltiness like is a lot of fun for me on my end and your end. Like,
There's salt that goes back and forth. I'm sure it is entertaining.
well, fucking Cyborg was supposed to make a belt, but he never made it.
You were gonna make a belt?
There's a lot of guilt in that. There's a lot of. It was supposed to be a belt, but instead of having Temp, where the name was going to be, it was supposed to say only time. But for our listeners out there, that's an inside joke. We'll explain it one day, or maybe we won't. We haven't decided.
Maybe we won't.
Yeah, from like when we all play, I don't speak words.
Yeah?
I don't know where I was going with that. I was going to say something along the lines of, I don't really get super salty. It's fun seeing you guys get salty, but I do get frustrated for sure.
But that can be
I
entertaining.
do get super salty. I get incredibly salty.
And when I get frustrated, I do more to like make it less salty and more entertaining for everybody else. In the sense of I just trash talk, but then always like just talk about how much bullshit this is in a funny way. Because if you're not being funny about it, then it's not as fun.
I don't know. One reason why I get so mad when I lose with Cage against Sub-Zero is because I can always trace my loss back to one single really bad decision.
That's what's so great about Sub-Zero. It's like, I did it. I touched that clone. That was all my fault.
It's like, oh my god, all I had to do was fucking duck and block and wait for him to jump, and I jumped into a clone. Oh, so yeah, that's... It's so fun, though. It's a blast.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. That's I'm really looking forward. This game needs to fucking come out already, so I can go online and fight people and have fun and all this shit and change the background of the character select screen, all the menus to something that looks cool.
Here's the thing, though, Cyborg. I know you're not big on the leaks, but if the 26 character leaks, do you want to know? Because that I am going to look. I won't tell you if you don't want me to, but I will look that up for sure. Like, that is not something I'm waiting for the game to come out for.
I think I would, because, I mean, I tried my hardest to fucking get that person to tell me who it was anyways. So they just kept telling me that they just want me to be, like, surprised, and they thought I would enjoy it much more, like, finding out in the game rather than them just telling me, so...
That's kind of how I feel. Like, if it also depends on
so
when it
it
happens.
really just
like, if it happens tomorrow, if it plops on the forum, it's like, am I going to be able to avoid this shit for another
time
full 2
is always
weeks or
a
whatever?
big factor. If it's like a day before, I could probably make it, but if it's now,
if it's next week, I can make it. But I don't know about 2 weeks.
But I mean, it's a character. But the thing is, the character's likely going to be story spoiling related, because I'm assuming they're going to play a huge part in the story. That's why
it could be April 13th. I'm going to find out.
Well, I am going to find out on April 13th.
Well, yeah, 13th. Well, I'll know that
April
night,
12th.
so...
11th?
Sure. We'll go with that. But no, I mean, I'm still sticking with... It's probably going to be some random new version of Shao Kahn. Maybe a fucking Shao Kahn kid, or a descendant, or...
Shao Kahn kid.
Clone, or
Kid
like...
Kahn. Please be Kid Kahn.
Some new form of him. I don't know. I can't get past that weird creature being created in the Brotherhood with the armor, with the statues of Shao Kahn, and then the achievement pics of, like, Shao Kahn related shit. Even the fucking achievement picture of beating story mode, which I wish I didn't see, is Shao Kahn armor, and it says a new ruler. Like, it just, all signs point to something Shao Kahn related.
What?
You didn't know that?
Wait, say again?
What did you want me to say again?
the Shao Kahn armor at the end of the story mode.
The story mode achievement for 100% story mode completion is the title is There's a New Ruler, and the picture is of Shao Kahn's armor hung up in the Brotherhood thing. So that could be Raiko, that could be Shao Kahn, that could be Shao Kahn. Why would it be of his armor if it's not relating to something with Shao Kahn?
I don't think it's. I don't think it's Shao Kahn strictly. Like, especially. I mean, and it says a new ruler. Like, Shao Kahn's not new.
Yeah, after Melina and Kotal pass it back and forth, that's technically a new ruler.
No, I don't think anyone could ever call Shao Kahn a new ruler. Like, but that dude did his thing, and he was around for a long time. It's technically
still a new, like...
I wouldn't worry about that. I'm with Justin on this. I don't think it's Kahn. Something tells me that.
But it doesn't have to be Kahn. It can be some form of Kahn. What if it's Ermac, like, going full-on Kahn mode, and we get, like, Boss Ermac version
Never go full Kahn.
Yeah, well...
Rico would be fun. I'd be cool with Rico.
I miss Deception Ermac. I don't like this new Ermac at all.
I like the Ermac, this version of Ermac. I just wish his face wasn't showing, or his abs, or whatever the fuck that was.
I want to see that fun mummy outfit that they have for him, the skin.
Yeah, I mean, the concept of a mummy character I'm not against, and I guess it makes sense in Ermac's case. It's just, to me, it just doesn't look good. I like mysterious Ermac that's completely covered up.
Yeah, I like them both, really, but I miss the days of Deception when Ermac was a redemptive soul, or a redemptive collection of souls, I guess. I don't know.
Right. And, I mean, that's something we gotta consider, is there's a lot of Khan mentions already in this fucking game, so that's another thing that could be pointing towards it. The whole Shao Kahn's soul being in Ermac and potentially taking control of him at some point. Maybe not full control, but he just fucking... Ermac seems to still be under his power. So, there's that.
Nah, we'll see.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just, that if I had to put my chips down on something, I don't think they're holding back like a Fujin or a Bo Raicho. The most like character, like the only character I think of like from the past that would come back other than like some form of Khan would be Havoc. And for some reason that's just because he seems to be playing a lot in the comic lately with this demon and shit. And
yeah, I think Havoc's a good call.
Also, the person that I was talking to made a point of mentioning, you know, all the realms in the faction invasions have a representative, the Nether realm. The Chaos realm does not. So how are they going to invade if they have no actual representative in the game? They didn't say that was anything relating to the character, but they just pointed that out. Could be
I'm
Havoc.
just gonna leave this here.
Havoc wasn't one of the 14 characters that they deconfirmed because I forgot to put him in there like an idiot.
Havoc's a good call, I think. I think he is a prime candidate on the short list of prime candidates.
Yeah, I could see Havoc making it, and Havoc would be a fun character. I would not be disappointed with Havoc at all, but...
No, I wouldn't either.
I don't know. Not sure what else to say.
Or Rico. Either of those two would be fine with me.
Suave.
Like he has that... Shut up. He has that... I mean, all that Shao Kahn illusion shit could be for Rico, too.
Why you tell you shut up?
Because, man, it's not Suave.
He's Rico Suave.
Okay, you're right.
Rico Suave.
God, that young Kung Lao skin looks good. I want it.
Alright, well, unless you guys have anything else to add to this riveting conversation, then I say we should end this episode.
Nah, that's about all I got.
Alright, well, to everyone listening, not sure when this will go up, because sometimes they get delayed a bit, I'm not sure. We're hoping to have somebody on here in the next couple nights, so we might have to... I don't know. I'll throw it up eventually, but it'll probably go up over the weekend or something. But anyways, it is now 4:12 a.m. our time, and hope you guys have a good one. We're almost there. We're in the final stretch. One more week to go, really, so... Like, as an actual full week left, so... Alright. You guys have a good one. Try not to be too harsh on the Jacqui stuff.
Bye, everybody.